to gather. Let the masses join us. You can assume whatever you want. I ended up going with Quicken instead of Twinned, and going with Mirror Image instead of Hold Person or the Crown or anything else that I could find. There was a spell that I was thinking about getting that I couldn't find the source files for, so I wasn't even going to bother. It was something's Earthen Grasp. I think it's an elemental evil, and I couldn't get my hands on it for whatever reason. Yeah. I wanted to read it, but I couldn't. Yeah. I did this last second. I know I've had a month and a half. I'm a horrible human being. Just so I get to confirm, I am at 5 out of 17 hit points. The cleric is at 12 of 22. Human fighter's at 20 of 28, and I have the goblin paladin full health at 29/29. Out of 29. Okay, so I'm the only one injured at 5 of 17. And yeah, everybody else is but for Twitch, you hit the gear and it should be like halfway up. If you use BTT, it's like 3/4 the way up. Right? Yep. Completely understand. Pausing the stream, still being in the chat gives me a viewer either way. Savage Oxygen has just started watching, and I expect to hear a sub sound because he hits that Twitch Prime button because it's been a month. Subscribe. Subscribe. It's your 3-month, you said? Thank you for the host. Too many souls. Oh, I'm betting stream can't hear you guys. Now stream can hear you guys.
Tis a good day to die.
That mistake.
God. I have to go play some StarCraft now.
All right, are we 95% ready to do this?
I'm 100%. So we should be ready. Before I get started, though, guys, today is the World Awareness Day for DMD, and as most of you know, my youngest has it. So everybody in chat, there's a link in case you don't know what it is. You've been aware. Thank you for that sub. Look at that sub. Got some hype in chat for subs. Yep.
Subs?
Sub hype. Yeah. All right, I'm ready now.
Ladies from Germany.
Okay, so, gentlemen, and Zeb, last time we played, you guys finished up the Death House, but not before losing the Goblin. That is to say that the Goblin decided that it would be a good idea to poke some odd, slightly breathing thing in the basement of the Death House. What preceded was a slap fight involving a torch and one stuck goblin, and then he died. you guys did your best to flee the scene and had an interesting experience in that he walked out of the mist shortly after your departure from the death house. He is still amongst you. However, he is gray of skin and complexion, kind of this pale white, green, gray color. And he feels different than he did before. He has this almost like this pulling in his chest that he didn't have before, even though he himself is not quite sure where it's pulling, just that it's there. This compulsion that exists. After that, you had several other encounters in the greater village of Barovia. The most famous of which, oh yeah, the most famous of which was an old lady pushing a cart, and she appears to have traded some form of thing to a house, and they gave her a small child, which she then shoved into her cart and went on her merry way, until of course the party intervened and talked her out of the trade, shall we say. After that, they journeyed south a little bit and heard a wailing of a woman distraught over the loss of her daughter, and I believe her name was like Mary Exposition, and she dropped some story on you guys.
No, we didn't. The goblin did,
and gave you kind of a brief, somewhat history overview of the town and the darkened castle that overlooks said town. After that, you made your way to the tavern, Blood on the Vine.
You're missing an important part of that section.
About Kilt?
What
about Kilt?
Adopted the
yes,
kid.
And they may have adopted an orphan. Which, when has it ever gone wrong for a party?
Oh yeah. Inventory. Child.
Inventory.
I have an interesting
Small
tidbit as a sidebar here about Skirp's hand, known as Free Market, that no one else can see. So PAX was this last weekend. As some of you may know, there's a game there called Free Market, or The Invisible Hand of the Free Market, and I proceeded to laugh my ass off about it.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
Anyway, that aside, the gentlemen found their ways, and the lady, and the goblin, found their way to the tavern here in town, where they met a barkeep who acted as if he was somewhat robotic, and then the company of Ismark the Lesser, who has since convinced the party to help him with a matter concerning his sister, Irina. They then traveled to their household, which is the mansion of the Burgomeister, and found that Irina appears to have gained the eye of one Lord Strahd von Zarovich, namely the 2 bite marks on her neck. And that is where we left off last month. Sorry, things. That said, you guys are on this map in the area of E4, which is to the south.
Yep.
You've just basically been introduced to Irina, and she has alluded to the fact that it may be too late for her fate. And Ismark is not convinced of this.
Alrighty. Has Ismark conveyed to us he's not convinced of it?
Yeah, that was his basically his whole spiel to get you guys here was namely kind of getting you guys on board without giving you all the details.
Yeah.
You are now aware of one very major detail, and that is that it appears This Strahd person has taken a shine to his sister in a most disturbing manner. What then will you do next?
Well, I'll ask Ismark about if he thinks there's hope for her. What does he know how to prevent or cure her of her vampirism or presumed vampirism?
He doesn't, though he himself he has an idea. That's mainly to just get out of the shadow of the castle to start with. He is certain that so long as they stay here, she won't be safe. The castle shadow quite literally hangs over the town constantly. Like you don't have a chance to be anywhere and are not reminded of it. So his first major goal will be to get his sister out of the village here, and he will tell you that this means he would like to travel to another town known as Vallaki. It is to the northwest of Barovia.
Has he traveled there before?
He says no. He's actually he's lived almost his entire life here in the village. Before that, he was a kind of a smaller homestead outside of the town, but there was never a lot of reason, and also the roads here are extremely dangerous. You travel if you must, absolutely must, not if you desire to. Anyone? Bueller?
Bueller.
We've lost everybody, apparently.
It's
just me and you, Rap.
It's just
me and you.
All right. So how's your day?
All right, Rap. You immediately advance to level 20.
Good. We need a player that can heal, and he can probably do that at 20.
Are now and will now enter single combat with the Lord of this domain.
All right.
Pef's Lord of this domain, though. So my microphone is muted, apparently.
No. Also known as Kildith.
Right.
He of muted mic.
What can he tell us about Vallaki?
He says not much, just that it's a much larger city, or town, I guess would be a better way to say it. And it's not here. It's not immediately being, hammered upon by the massive shadow that is Castle Ravenloft.
What time of the day is it currently?
Well, here it's always
shadow o'clock.
It's always shadow o'clock here. It's actually
here.
It's evening.
So
it's clearly night at this point. Yeah.
We should probably at least wait until morning-ish.
Be nice to get out of this hell-forsaken town for at least a day, even. How far is the journey?
It's about a day.
Okay. So if we left in the morning, might be able to make it by nightfall?
Yes. And that to that point, that's actually Ismark's plan. And as he's kind of, going over this with you guys, Arena just kind of like pushes her way into the discussion, like not overly pleased that you guys have been ignoring her, and states her refusal to leave the town so long as their father is in this current state. And that is another thing you learned last week, is that the Burgomeister of this town, who some of you received a letter from for help, has died. Ismark and Arena both think that it's his heart that gave out from the stress of the current situation. The current situation being that zombies kept assailing the house at night, attempting to break through the boards and makeshift barricades that you see have been set up and rebuilt and broken all around the perimeter of this place.
That's still going on?
Not currently, no. There are no zombies about.
I mean, like, this evening, are they expecting zombie?
They're not sure. Their father's only been dead for a day, and they're not sure what to expect. If this is some sort of tactic to make them drop their guard, or if that was their goal, was to just have the Burgomeister die as a result.
Do they know if the zombies serve a master of some sort? Is it the man in the castle?
Ismark is fairly certain that this is Strahd's doing. There's one lord of this domain, and he controls a great many creatures.
So Irina's concern is that if we leave here, the zombies will attack while we're gone and destroy the house and or more things beyond that? Or is she concerned for her father's body?
She is. It's more of a. You get the feeling like it's a sentimental issue. Like she's just not willing to leave her father here like this, in this state, despite everything else that's going on. She's a dutiful child.
Might be a dumb question, but I could understand not wanting to bury him yet. And of all places here, is there another place outside of town, perhaps along the way, that would make sense to lay him to rest?
She says that there's only one place that would make sense to take him to, and that is the Church of the Morning Lord, which is here in the village of Barovia. Just that they've been afraid to take to the streets with the coffin by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like something we could help with.
She's just kind of like drops kind of all pretense of trying to put on a brave face as you guys are like, okay, yeah, we can probably help with that. And she's immediately grateful and is like, please, can you please help us do this thing?
Yeah, is that something? I imagine the church isn't far from here, right? It's in this town.
It is E5 on your maps, which is the northernmost marked building.
The number one in our hearts. Okay.
Exactly.
So perhaps is that something that we can maybe take care of first thing in the morning and then be on our way?
Yeah.
She
What
says
time of day is it?
it's evening.
Okay.
She says that she's willing to defer that to you, though it concerns her that they might return. They, of course, being the zombie horde. She says if it were possible to get to the church this evening, that no doubt you would be safe there on hallowed ground.
Mm.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So let's give it a shot.
Squirrel, Gideon, are you guys up for going for a light walk?
I don't mind burying the dead.
All right. Gideon's in.
And onward then to a brisk evening jog. All right. Ismark leads you, the group, inside to the parlor area of the Burgomeister's mansion, and you see that a wooden coffin has been hastily built, and a man lays inside of it. No doubt the Burgomeister that they've been referring to. Pointing at this, he introduces his late father, and says if you could please, help lift him. He was a he was a hefty man in life, shall we say.
Take a moment and remove my top hat in respect. Then take a position as the pallbearer.
Now, for someone of small size, being a pallbearer is more like kind of being underneath of it with your hands above your head holding it.
Yeah, that's about right.
Oh man, I wish I had a spell slot available.
Why, are you going to tensor it?
Well, like, one of the like Arcana spells is ceremony. One of them's a funeral rite.
Nice.
But I'm all out. I believe.
Gideon
I
will
think.
help carry it.
I don't know if these numbers are right. It looks like I have one spell slot open, but I don't know if that's actually correct or if that's a level up thing.
Well, if it looks like you have one spell slot open, then I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
All right. I guess as we're like gathering around the body, I'll ask Irina and Ismark if they will accept me blessing their father before we move him.
They say absolutely. You know, they Arena had no idea you were a priest of any regard, so you just kind of look like this person in armor and robes and such, and so she was like, is he just a knight? She just a knight? It's hard to tell, but finding out you're a priest is actually a relief.
It will take some time. It looks like it's an hour-long ritual, so that's...
Okay.
Is it early or late evening, you think?
She says that and Ismark agrees that perhaps that's a better thing to hold at the actual cemetery as part of his internment.
Let's do that then. I'll assume a position as a pallbearer as well.
All right. Anybody else going to actually carry the coffin, and are you going to leave that to the kids to take up slots too? The option is yours.
Isn't the son drunk off his arse at this point in time?
He's a little well into his cups.
I'm not the strongest guy, but you know, if it looks like I'm gonna be better suited, I guess I definitely hope.
It appears that it would be appreciated.
Then yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Gideon's in. Yeah, we'll all help.
All right. The children will then walk alongside the group as they move on. All right. Ismark then, leading this procession, heads north up one of the main drags of Barovia and leads the group to the Church of the Morning Lord at E5. As you approach, you see that the pillars of Castle Ravenloft are actually nearby to here. And the church looks quite weathered. The roof itself looks like it's been battered immensely. The bell tower in the back has cracks in it. And the doors of the church, massive wooden double doors, are covered in claw marks and scorched by fire. This place looks like it is held against many assaults.
Okay, I really felt like this was going to be a safe place.
Right.
But I dutifully continue bearing the pall in a churchward manner.
Okay. Hold, please. I don't know if this is going to be right. Might jump around in a second. Trying to make sure. I won't worry about it too much if lighting's not on right now. All right, that should do it. I guess the scene should change momentarily.
See the darkness.
It'll be over there, or is it still darkness?
It's all dark.
Darkness.
So the penguin.
Darkness, my old friend.
Interesting. All right, let me grab your tokens. Apparently, it's going to act like there's light on this map, even though it doesn't really matter. Oh, I know what I can do. Enabled. Force line of sight. Okay. How about that?
It's alright.
Okay.
We can see everything.
Except Script's head.
You can see the important part.
Your hair.
He's just really committing to character.
Yep.
See
You guys approach from
make a top
that
hat.
being the double doors here. They are presently closed to you.
Someone who doesn't have both their hands full.
Yeah. Ismark just kind of like, yeah, like we determined he's a little drunk tonight. He goes up and he pulls the doors open and he pauses for a moment, noticing the assault marks, shall we say, on the doors, and swing them open. You see that there is a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall that leads into a brightly lit chapel. The hall itself is dimmer than it appears here and smells of mildew. There are 4 doors, 2 to a side, and you can see that ahead it looks like the chapel's probably seen better days. There's just of the bit of the hallway you can see there's debris strewn about. But you do hear a soft voice kind of chanting in prayer coming from that direction.
All right. Do we see anywhere that we might put a coffin down?
The most likely place would be the into the chapel itself, like walk through the hall and set it down near the altar.
I propose that plan then.
Let's do it.
I propose to give you tokens.
The fair exchange.
You guys probably have control of them.
See about that.
We'll see about that indeed.
I do have control of my token. Awesome.
Ismark in
I assume
arena.
we make it all the way up there before Skirt goes into a doorway because we're carrying a coffin. The altar's way up here,
Probably.
right?
Yeah, the altar's way up there. As you all enter, Ismark and Arena follow. They close the doors behind you. And as the doors swing shut, there is an inhuman scream that appears to be coming from the floorboards.
There's a trap.
Oh God. Did I fall for another trap? I hate it.
Did you
This
lean
is
against
the
the wall?
Death Church instead of the Death
This
House.
is the Death Church. The screams are, Father, Father, I'm starving. Please let me out. Father! This just like shrill, panic sounding voice.
Well,
Maybe the church isn't a good place.
I'm going to drop my corner of the casket and grab my sword and shield, my pick and shield.
Very well.
Sort of back away from everything that I can see that's alive.
I guess I'll try to hold on or like pick up the slack of his sudden dropping of the casket.
Suddenly revealed that
Arena sees this happen and she like rushes forward to grab it and kind of shoots the goblin a sideways glance as he goes into a defensive stance. And Ismark, for his part, will rush forward to the father, and who's still kneeling, and kind of pick him up by the shoulders. And Father, what was that? Like, what's going on? Father Donovich, tell us. And he turns around, and you see this man just looks absolutely haggard, like he's been weeping for days on end, and possibly even hasn't slept or ate anything. He looks pale and just weak, and he just is trying his hardest to stay up, and Ismark is like holding him up with one arm, kind of the drunk man keeping the weary man afloat. And he just says, Ismark, what are you? And he looks and sees you all sitting there and standing there, and Arena as well, and goes, you and Arena, what? And he sees the coffin. He's like, what is this? And he leans forward and puts both hands down onto the altar. And he says, what is going on here? Meanwhile, in the background, the voice continues to scream. And you see Father Donovich's eyes kind of twitch every time the shrillness of the voice hits his ears.
I'm getting kind of freaked out by the screaming, but I am going to start looking around. It's definitely coming from below us, right?
Yes, it is most definitely coming from below you.
All right, I'm going to start looking around for some sort of hatch or stairwell or something along those nature.
All right. Did the light just kick back in?
Yeah.
It did.
Okay. Finally figured out how that worked. Anyway, all right, Skirp. While they're hashing this out, you may start doting about the church and the rooms as you see fit. Ask and ye shall receive. Ismark begins to start explaining the situation that you group here have volunteered to help carry his father here to be placed at their final rest, and that after this, you and Arena plan to leave the town with the help of this group. I should probably get on the rolling page. Investigation. What you can tell is that it's definitely coming from underneath of you, the voices, but there doesn't appear to be a way down there from this room. This place is in poor repair. Like, it looks like it's seen a battle.
All right.
Donovich, for his part, says that he's grievedly hurt by this thing that has happened, and it would be his great honor to help lay the Burgomeister to rest. However, as this is a church of the Morning Lord, that the rites cannot be performed until dawn. His concern is that profane things may happen in the night hours.
What sort of profane things?
He says, surely you have seen the front doors of this place. It is a bastion against the darkness in this place, and it is held for many years. But I dare not venture out at night, and I would not put the lot of you in danger to do so, nor would the Burgomeister see his children put in harm's way.
What of the interesting noises we're hearing? As conveniently a scream just happens right behind me.
All right. First thing, I believe that Skirp was going to go into that room, yes?
Oh, sure.
All right. There is an old desk and a chair standing against standing against the southern wall. There is a wooden holy symbol mounted above several of the fixtures in here, actually. It's a sunburst. There is what appears to be an iron rod with attached to the wall, which seems to suggest there was a tapestry of some such here. But other than that, there's only a cabinet in the room. Nothing of importance, other than the cabinets. There are a few books in here. the titles of which I will tell you, despite the fact that you refuse to read them.
Thank you.
They are Hymns to the Dawn, The Blade of Truth, the uses of logic in the war against the Diabolist heresies, as fought by the Olmist Inquisition. You also see that there is a box full of candles in here as well.
All right. Well, I'll leave it all where it is for the time being.
All right. Back to Tally's question. He at first tries to make a play of like screaming, and then the scream hits again, and he just loses all pretense of trying to pretend it's not happening, and he breaks down and tells you that it's his son, that his son has lost his mind, and the only thing he could think to do with him was to lock him in the undercroft of the church. He couldn't bear to see him sent away, and despite what he might be becoming, he's still his son, and he has to watch over him.
Lost his mind how?
He says then he takes a minute to kind of compose himself. He says the journey back from the castle, I can only imagine what horrors he faced. He says my son was very brave, and despite my warnings, went with some others to the castle to stop its lord. And he was gone for some time, and I thought to never see him again. And then suddenly one night he returned to me, but he was changed. He was seemingly mad with grief or terror, or I'm not sure what. And it was all I could manage to force him into the undercroft and lock the door. He was violent and raving, and he continues to have kind of breakdowns in between sentences. And he says, what kind of father am I that I can't even save my own son?
But you're starving him by the sounds of it. Like
he says, no, I give him sustenance, but he insists of hunger. I look, and he doesn't touch the food or the water that I leave. I don't. And then he stopped himself. He says, no, I won't understand what it is that he might have become while he was there. Scarp, any more rooms you wish to look in?
Oh yeah.
All right, this room is a room with things in it. If only these were written in order. This room is very bad. The things on the map that appear to be puddles of water are in fact puddles of water. The roof is broken in this room. In the corner of the room, you see that there is a heavy wooden trapdoor that is shut with chain and padlock. The screams are much louder in this room than anywhere else. Back to the chapel. Having said his story, Donovich takes some minutes to try to compose himself, but is kind of having a hard time of it. He says that he can't provide you a comfortable rest until dawn, which is some ways off, but that it's safe inside the church, and that nothing would dare interrupt you here. He says, if you don't mind,
your son?
Minus the screaming of his son, of course.
I asked him where we could place the good Burgermeisters for the time being until the morning.
He stands aside and kind of motions to the altar and says, "Please place him here."
And as we're walking towards the altar, I ask him if he would not mind, as a not really a full priestess necessarily, but as a moon guard of Selune, does he mind if I perform a ritual in the House of the Dawn to help protect the good Burgermeister?
He says, by all means, he says it's rare to have anyone of holy background in this place, and he would welcome it.
If he could fetch me anything of silver or any other sort of divine implements.
Yeah, he from the rear of the altar, he pulls up only his own holy symbol and a couple of vials of holy water.
Cool. I guess once we place the body down, I'm going to start performing the ritual to bless the Burgermeister. And feel free to interrupt me if you guys need, but it'll take me a while to complete it.
All right. Donovich, for his part, begins the same in his own way to his own god. And so you have kind of these two holy people beseeching their gods to bless this man in their own way. You guys kind of circle and anoint the coffin with holy water. It's punctuated, however, by the screaming kind of reaching this like breaking point. The creature is screaming out in what appears to be pain of some kind, and you can hear just this every once in a while saying "stop it" as loud as he possibly can. Skirp for the room investigations, or are you good?
Well, I think I found what I was investigating for. I was torn between trying to like alert the rest of the party and rescue the damsel who I assume is in distress.
But it's a dude. It's not a damsel.
I heard
You do not know the
screams.
Yes. Skirp has been investigating. He doesn't know the story because he's been investigating the rooms, so he does not know the gender of said person. You guys have heard him referred to as son, so you do.
So I am going to try and get this hatch open.
Either a disable dexterity check or a strength check to burst the lock.
Okay. I think disable device is under sleight of hand now, isn't it?
It's just a dexterity check with proficiency if you have proficiency in thieves' tools.
In that case. Fire in the hole. Slightly better. Yeah. Okay, so apparently I don't remember how to jimmy the lock. And so I'm just going to attack the lock with my pick.
All right. Strength check, please.
Just gonna be mining.
I got this.
You can basically keep out this until it breaks. So keep rolling until I say not to. Or
I fear the good goblin is attempting to release your son.
The rest of the party, you hear a loud
behind me.
There you go. You got it on that one.
Got him.
You hear a loud clanging sound coming from the other room.
Tink, tink, crunch.
This will interrupt Donovich's prayer. Tally, that's up to you if you stop at yours, because as I recall, you say it takes an hour to perform your rites.
Mm-hmm. I'll look up for a moment, but continue kind of. I'll look up for a moment and then kind of keep an eye out for it if I can, but I'm going to continue the ritual.
All right. You continue going then as the clanging stops. And it's really silent for a second until you hear chain sliding. What you doing there, Skirp?
I was gonna say You pretty much got this figured out. I'm gonna clear out, clear the chains out of the way, and then throw open the hatch.
All right. The hatch you see
On my way.
drops down 5 feet, and with your goblins have dark vision these days, yeah?
We do, yes.
You see that there are a set of stairs descending into deeper darkness. You'd have to either poke your head down or jump down there yourself to glean more information.
Okay. What's the state of the screaming at this point?
It has stopped.
Oh.
Donovich, for his part, to the rest of the party, looks panicked. He looks at Talibeth and Ismark in Arena, Swirl and Gideon, and seeing that none of you are moving, he's kind of starts moving slowly towards the hallway before he breaks into a full run down the hall. Unless one of you try to stop him.
Who left the goblin alone?
He will come to the door unless Skirp closed it.
I just assumed it was Kilt.
He's just always hanging out with the donkey. They cool
Kilt's
for
in
now.
my bag.
Kilt's our driver now.
You can't put a kid in your bag.
It's a bag of holding.
Unless it's a bag of holding, and you item
Dang
him
it,
first.
And that's a one-way trip, I think. In terms of
We had a donkey and cart, and we carried the.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a matter of respect.
Yep, it's the whole pallbearer thing.
That's a
Donovich
pall.
sees this short thing in armor staring down into this hole. What are you doing? This is madness. Come away from there at once. Put back the chains. Put back the chains. And he rushes up and tries to grab the chains and is trying to close the hatch. Skirp, it's at that point that you see the motion in the darkness running up towards the hatch.
I am equal parts convinced that I am a hero and that I've made a mistake. I'm not sure.
Are we actually equal here? Are we like 45 on one side, and are we 50-50 down the middle?
80-20.
I'm still clinging to the idea that I did the right thing here.
How will you react to this darkness, this figure in darkness running up the stairs now?
I try and wrestle the chains away from the old man.
Okay. As you do so,
That's exciting.
This scrawny-looking, man, probably late teenager, just flat out jumps and lands perfectly, feet on either side of the door, and screams and goes, "Father, I'm so hungry." And ignoring Skirp, attempts to charge his father. Skirp, if you want to react, since you are wielding your weapon, you can take a swing, unless you think that swinging at him is not the right thing. Donovan, for his part, just no, and tries to shut the door in the guy's face, but fails as Doru knocks it off of its hinges.
Okay. Well, I'm going to. I think I will take the swing.
Okay. Arena and Ismark both, at this commotion, have come down here and kind of push back Swirl, and both have drawn weapons. Donovich is fallen basically on his butt and is crawling backwards, like crab crawling backwards, when he bumps into Gideon and does his best to kind of get away from him, and he's put himself into the corner. Stay back! And he's holding up his holy symbol at his son. As for your attack, let me verify the AC. His AC is either 15 or 16, I think.
Then 14's probably not.
But let me double check that for you. It is 15. So the 14 is
AC,
insufficient. At the very least, some of your party
Bam!
are in combat.
Okay.
I will leave it up to the rest of you if you so desire to join. Tally, since you were back there chanting, what is of immediate concern to you is the fact that Donovich has started screaming and fell to the floor, and the door basically flew off its hinges and narrowly missed hitting Gideon in the face. Oh, come on, you nerds. Where are your stat blocks? Not you guys, though. Your friends.
So seeing that, I like sort of shake and look up, and pause again, and see everybody storming for the door. And I'm going to start kind of moving around to the front of the altar.
Okay.
And I'd like to try to. I know this is one of those things where it's like I need my concentration, so I'm fine with like not making a lot of progress. But I kind of want to like. It's like one of those things where you're trying to do some work, but you really are like watching TV or whatever. So like I'm really kind of paying attention to what's over there. And I know the words, I know the gestures, but I'm not really making progress on the ritual.
Basically, as long as you don't cast another spell that requires concentration, you can keep this one going.
Yeah. So then in that case, can I go ahead and join initiative?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Donovich is going on 16. Doruda.
Perfect.
Doru is going also on 14.
No capes.
No capes. Ismark is going on 18, like a baller, because his sister might be in danger.
And Harley Q today, Notoria? What you trying to say?
And Arena,
What you trying to say?
who has actually a fairly sweet-looking sword, despite what you might think, is going on a different page, apparently. There we go. Roll like a boss. Nope. All right. Gideon and Squirrel, what are your dex mods?
+3.
Squirrel?
Deuce.
All right. Gideon, roll it off, please.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you tried.
Do I add my +3 from? I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was gonna. Because then we tied again.
So,
Do it again.
Okay.
It's gonna be a slap fight.
Here we go. Do it.
Oh, he tried.
Uh,
All right. 0.1. 0.2.
wait.
0.3.
Shouldn't be the other way around.
Yes, it probably should. That makes sense in my head. Anyway, Skirp, you're going first. That's what's important here.
I can't see through that door from here, like, personally.
As the catalyst for all this, Skirp, you're the one that's going first.
I save you, young woman, and this is how you repay me.
There's a person standing there, and Skirp is standing directly across from him, is what you can see.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a token that just has light that I can throw into places where you guys should be able to see. Anyway.
I'm turning on Divine Favor and
Whoa.
attacking.
All right, well, a 21 will hit.
I should hope so.
You should hope. All right, and you do 8 damage.
8 points of fiery picking damage.
All right. What other properties does that convey?
That is 3 points of 3 points of regular damage, 2 points of regular damage, and 3 points of radiant damage. So 5 points regular, like piercing, and 3 points radiant damage.
Okay. Important to know. I might need you to split that up in your macro.
I suppose.
All right. It's a mighty hit, and he screams that it burns. Ismark says, "No, you do not. We did not come here for this." And he steps in front of the door, and he takes a swing with his S-word. And he swings at...
Saber.
He takes 2 shots, actually. The first of which is... He's quite mighty. He crits. Apparently, he is not down with this. The first attack does minimum. The bonus damage is that, for a grand total of 11. His second attack, because he's awesome like that, misses entirely. Donovich does things. He will cower in the corner and begins begging you to not harm his son. That's what he will do on his turn. Doru, sweet Doru, tries to reach past Ismark, but realizing that's not going to happen, attempts to attack Ismark instead, which is probably not a good thing. Probably not a good thing at all. All right, what do you got for me? Oh, geez. All right. And he just claws at him. And he claws at him again. That one will hit. And he does max damage to Ismark, because of course he does.
Oh, shit.
Ismark tries his best to deflect the blows, but it doesn't happen. Gideon, you can see Ismark's trying to hold the line here, but given the beating he just took, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
All right. Gideon's going to fire his bow into the room at the madman, apparently. Yeah, let me click my button. I haven't rolled an attack in so long. I don't remember how.
Well, you crit.
No damage on a crit. It should be an extra 1d8, right?
Yeah, it's, I don't know, something with a macro. Just roll another d8.
And I'm going to use goading attack with it. He has to make a 13 wisdom saving throw to not have to attack me or suffer disadvantage. So basically getting firing at him and doing a raspberry.
All right, will save you say?
What does that sound like? That tickles me a lot more than the original description.
He failed it, so he has to roll this out unless he attacks you.
Yes.
All right.
So it was 18 damage?
Yes. The arrows do not seem to have curbed his enthusiasm. Squirrel, you see that Your friends have entered battle.
Can I actually see the guy that they're attacking?
No. Well, you can see the odd, like, clawed hand reach out. But other than that, no.
If I stand next to Gideon, I can see.
Yes, you can.
Alright, I guess I will. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna move next to Gideon and I will obviously attack because Gideon did.
The chillest of touches. However, that does not hit. All right. Arena will move up and try to hit with her sword around the corner, which is going to give Doru some AC. No, you go there, not there. It doesn't matter because these guys are heroes. Apparently, they'd be fine on their own in the wild.
Right? Who needs us?
Yeah, right?
Big damn
Yay,
hero,
welcome,
sir.
Cool Eagle.
I do.
We were fighting a madman.
She does little pokey damage here.
Wow.
It's a little pokey damage.
Sucks.
Oh, I should probably roll that twice, huh? Yep, that was great.
We are fighting this. It's in here.
Damn it, she's trying.
Light token doesn't work quite
She
right.
is trying. She's doing her best. Tally.
I can't see shit, Captain. Can I?
Nope.
All right.
Hey, Skipford. How'd Overwatch go, man?
will, I guess, just defer, because I guess. Well, I'm already at the end of the order, aren't I?
Yes, you are already at the end of the order.
Well, I guess I'll ready an action. I can do that thing, right?
Yep, ready for...
So I think if I see shenanigans coming out of there, I'm going to toss a holy flare. What's it called? The cantrip that I use. Sacred flame.
Alright, as long as it doesn't take concentration, you're fine.
Yeah, it does not.
Alright, Skirp, you're back up.
Oh, yeah, I'm back up. All right. I am going to show him. Got it. Crushing it.
Alright, that's a hit. What's the divide?
I am, it is 5 piercing, 1 radiant.
Okay. He continually complains that it burned when you hit him, but he otherwise does not appear to be too badly injured. Ismark is go. Ismark is attack. Ismark swing once. Ismark miss. Ismark swing twice.
Good effort, Ismark.
He hits though. Good job, Ismark. You're not
Yeah, you can do
completely
it.
worthless. Longsword does slashing damage of some regard. Donovich continues to cry in the corner, begging for his son's life, and Doru will take 2 swings, one at Ismark, one at Skirp, because he does not like Skirp's hitting him in the face.
Oh,
I
come on.
have disadvantage, right, for not attacking me.
He does. This adds a 23.
Oh, that's exciting. That is a hit.
Because reasons. He is actually going to go the damage and grapple you.
Okay. Okay, now I guess I can't run away.
And having managed to grapple you, he will try to bite you on your neck, which he still has to set on because it's not against Gideon.
Jeez.
All right. So the first part of this does 6 piercing damage. The second part of this does 7 necrotic.
Ooh.
In addition to that, your hit point maximum is reduced by that amount. So 7 hit points from your cap. This effect lasts until you finish a long rest.
Which we'll never get.
Right.
No sleep. Gideon.
Funny enough, Gideon's just gonna like repeat last turn. Oh, maybe not.
To great effect.
And Gideon will step aside to let Squirrel get a shot into the room.
All right. Squirrel, it's your turn.
I have to move down to get that shot, right?
You could technically move down and then move back up after your attack. You can split your movement, right?
Yep, that is accurate.
Alright, we'll do that. I am going to use Tide of Chaos to give me an advantage on this attack.
Yes.
I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb. Everybody hates fire, so we're gonna go fire.
Chaos.
Control.
There's a
An
spot
ominous-
where I can do
Ominous
advantage
wait until the roll
right?
happens.
So just hit roll twice, I think.
Works for me.
So many fucking dice.
All right, your advantage goes off.
I'm going to spend a sorcerer point to reroll the 1.
Okay. Reroll 1, you mean?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
there's so
roll
many.
one of the damage dice. There's only one damage dice in there. That's a 1. It's a 3, 4, and a 1. I'm just gonna spend 1 point to spend that 1
Oh, I see 2 1s.
on the damage.
Yep, I think it's because you rolled the damage twice as well, not just the.
I see 3d8. And
I have-
plus 4 plus 1.
I have 68 and 3d20s.
Whoa.
I
Yeah, I
only
see
show 3d8 on my screen.
Oh, hey, Jeff, are you looking at the equation in the chat, or are you looking?
No,
at
I'm looking at the virtual dice.
Oh,
Yeah, there
Yeah,
there
look
were
at the equation.
20s
Yeah,
for
I'm just
some
using-
reason.
something.
I'm just
There's a
using
lot
the-
of dice.
I'm just using the equation in chat. I ignore the dice 9
That's
times out
fine.
of 10.
That's fine. All right, reroll that. Chaos did not happen.
Oh,
Wow. Alright, so I do 8 damage of fire.
That was a mighty 8 damage. The mightiest of 8 damages. It does look like that has hit much harder than all of the rest of your companions' weapons, however, have hit. All right, Irina
I move
will
back
do
up
her
and down.
best to be a hero. She wants to be a hero. The question is she? Will she succumb to fate?
Want to be a millionaire?
She hits, though, so she's got that going for her. She's not doing half bad. No, I lied. She wouldn't hit because the extra AC from swinging through the door frame. He has partial cover. Damn. All right, Tally. Nothing has happened so far.
Well, I think I'm sticking to my shtick.
All right. Skirp, you are grappled and feeling interesting from the fact this guy just tried to bite you on the neck and succeeded.
Well, no reason to panic.
No reason.
No reason whatsoever. Definitely things are going up according to plan.
Yep. Everything's going according to plan.
Yes, he is, Cool Eagle. Yes, he is.
All right. I am going to. I'm going to try and maintain my
keep
holy
keep
composure.
tanking. You keep on tanking.
Keep stiff upper lip here.
All right, Ismark has got 2 for this guy. 1 miss. 1 hit.
Thanks for the host, Skipford. And Sin Studios. And I missed somebody else that came in a second ago, too.
Not bad damage, though. All right. Donovich is still panicking, but he kind of uses the corner of the wall to push himself up. And he says, "No, this is madness. You don't understand. You don't understand. You can't beat him. Why do you think he was locked down there? You can't beat him. We have to lock him back up. It's the only way. We have to lock him back up." He starts just kind of muttering that over and over again. It's Doryu's turn. Who straightens up and goes to slash the goblin once and bite the goblin once. Misses the slash. Here comes the bite. No longer rolling disad because it's past the end of your turn. AC?
20.
Okay. And you're lucky
Awesome.
that it's a 20.
You're damn right.
All right, Gideon. You dancing the dance of love here.
Gideon will step back down and fire back into the room. That's not a longbow, that's a rapier. This is a longbow.
He's shooting rapiers. Hit.
Okay, he is going to goad again. So 8 damage, and he has to make a wisdom versus 13.
8 damage. You mean 1 damage?
Well, it
Total,
was
I think.
7 from the longbow, 1 from the
Got it.
goading attack.
All right. And then he will make his save.
That's 2 of my superiority dice used. I have 2 more.
He makes his
Hey,
save.
makes a save. Okay, and Gideon will take 2 more steps back up. And
All right. With his free hand, he reaches up and just pulls the arrow out of his shoulder and throws it at Ismark. Like, doesn't like try to like stab him with it. He just like tosses it at him and grins widely. And then licks the side of the goblin's face.
Ooh.
Squirrel.
I'm going to move down. I'm going to use my bonus action to sacrifice a 2nd level slot for 2 sorcerer points. Use those 2 sorcerer points to cast Chromatic Orb again. Fire.
Okay. $23's a hit. So 16 total.
Yep. 16 fire.
All right. Look pretty effective. Goblin might not be totally happy about the proximity of the heat.
I'm just trying to cauterize his wounds.
what's the worst that could happen? I mean, if he dies, he'll just be undead again.
He'll be more dead. All right, Arena takes a swing. Not bad, Arena. That is enough to hit him even with the added AC. Which does a bit of damage. Tally.
Oh man. How far? Whoops. It's not the right button. Like, I could run in there and shoot, but then I'd be blocking the way for other people.
Well, it's worth it.
Is
You
it?
can hit. You can hit from there. Oh no, you can't get that far.
No, I can't. This is the only place I could hit from. And
Oh,
then
I thought since Irina was attacking from around that corner, you could attack from around this corner.
I would
You
need
could.
for a spell? I would need line of effect, right?
Yeah, but corner to corner.
Okay. So I would have to get all the way over there, which is
Yep. You'd have to get all the way there.
further
which
than my
is-
movement.
Exactly.
If I keep concentration, can I not lose ritual and start moving in this direction?
Yep.
Okay. I think I'm going to do that. I'll move... Well, unless I... Oh, no, I can't get there. I'll move to here and ready the action for the Sacred Flame.
Okay.
If I see the...
Skirp, you are, you're still grappled.
Fight him off.
Alright.
This is the one right here.
Nope.
That was gonna be so much firing. All right.
There's Mark to battle. Oh, that's a D8, not a D20. Again, is Mark to battle. There you go. Let's roll the second attack while we're here. There you
Oh my
go.
God.
First damage, minimum. Second damage. Not horrible. What do we got there? Grand total of 11.
Did you do damage to him
Donovich.
last turn and I missed it?
To to who? Doru?
Skirp.
Skirp did hit him for very little last turn.
Oh, no, I thought you were attacking Skirp. I'm sorry. Did you do damage
No.
to Skirp last turn? Okay, so that 13 of 22.
Donovich, at this point, goes up and grabs Ismark and tries to pull him back and says, "You aren't paying attention. Don't you see we can't beat him? Look at his wounds. They're closing." And he's, grabbing Ismark by the shoulder and trying to pull him back. And Ismark's doing his best to keep like his sword arm free to kind of fend Doru off. And Doru, for his part, doesn't look as bad as you might imagine, especially considering you guys have been hammering on him. A little singed, perhaps. But he will do his best to accost the goblin as he has him held. So he's going to give a slash to the
Oh.
goblin
That's big funny.
and a bite to the goblin.
Those are both a lot higher than my AC.
Slash, or piercing damage rather, and necrotic damage for the Skirp. Your hit point maximum is again reduced by that number, 6.
Herb dead yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you actually dead?
I am well down.
Interesting. All right. So as you go limp, Doru lets you fall to the floor. Gideon, you're up.
Okay. That's very unhelpful. All right. I can see him from here.
Yes, you can. Definitely
Alright.
can.
Let's fire into the room one more time. Let's see if this works.
It's a hit.
Instead of goading attack, let's try trip attack.
I like it.
So 18 damage.
And he has to make save versus strength to see if he gets knocked down prone.
All right. He falls down.
Okay. Gideon will shout, "Push him down the hole!"
I just said that.
There's no way I can get into the room, is there?
You can push past his mark. You just can't end your turn on the same spot.
Okay. I was thinking I could use an action surge and try to run forward, and since I would have advantage now, like just shove him back a space.
You can try. I will say if you try to rush into the room, he'll get an attack of opportunity on you.
Even prone?
Even prone. He's not disarmed. He's just prone.
Let's just see if Ismark can help.
The only way to disarm him is to actually disarm him.
Yeah. I didn't take the disarming attack.
I mean, like, sever his arms. He's just been attacking with his clawed hands.
Okay, then.
Like really long fingernails.
I guess I will step up to there to let them have access to him. And then my turn.
All right, Squirrel, you're up.
I'd like to. So we can't. Is there an action that allows me to push him in there without taking attack of opportunity? Like that's my attack, bull rush or something.
You'd have to be Ismark's in the way is the problem. So you could. You can't delay till after Ismark because you're near the bottom of the order. You can use a shove action in place of your melee attack. But in order to get into the room, you'd have to basically walk over the top of Doru, and he will try to hit you in the face if you do so.
I thought the attack of opportunities were different in 5th edition, whereas only if I'm like running away from him. If I enter melee, I can still move around him, no?
Yeah, you can still move around him, but you're going over the top of him and then down into a square past him. So you're leaving the threatened hex, which is the hex that he occupies.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Fine. I will do such, but I'm going to use the room rating of my sorcerer points, and
okay.
I'm going to quicken Mirror Image and try to shove him in the hole. So I'm going to cast Mirror Image first, so that way if he does get that attack of opportunity, the chances are he misses me.
All right, well, he's rolling his attack of opportunity against a crit. What's the mischance?
I roll, and if I roll a 6 or higher now, that was just to cast a spell to see if I surged. Now, if I roll a 6 or higher, he misses me and attacks one of my duplicates.
Okay.
Whew.
Oh.
6 or higher, buddy. That is 6. I'm good.
Attempts to grab the thing by the ankle and bite it, and just doesn't. Goes right through it. All right, make a melee attack. Or actually, Mirror Image is what kind of action? It is an action. So you're in the room now.
Well, I used my last sorcerer's points to make it a bonus action by making it a quicken spell.
Got it.
Is it an attack or is it like a strength check?
It's in place of attack. It is. I think this is bookmarked in my book.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have any experience doing shove actions yet.
It's all good.
Use the attack action. You can make a special melee attack to shove a creature, either knock it prone or push it away from you.
There you go. Shoving a creature.
Instead of making an attack roll, you make a strength athletics check contested by target's strength or dexterity.
That should be a 13.
Check.
I'm sorry.
All right. This is its dex.
It's prone. Does it get dex? It's as good as dex bonus. Either way, I beat it.
Yep. All right. So you can shove it 5 feet closer. So it is there now.
Now make sure to step aside so somebody else can shove next. We'll just do this as a group.
He used his reaction, so he will not have another attack of opportunity if you decide to move away.
Yeah, I would move away. I assume using my shove action, I can't just grab Skirp's foot and drag him with me, can I?
Nope, that's too many actions. All right, Arena, basically hearing what Donovich is saying, is going to attempt to do the exact same thing. She's like, this isn't working. So, do you have... All right, straight D20 it is.
Do they get advantage since it's prone? I thought a melee attack, you get advantage if they're prone. That was the whole point of taking prone trip attack for me.
Let me... Well, can you find it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Attack roll against a creature has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet. Otherwise, attack roll has disadvantage.
All right.
It gets a little bit weirder when you look at the shoving a creature thing, because it says instead of making an attack roll, you make a strength athletic check. But
yeah, I'll say for now we're just gonna advantage to be. I don't know what it actually is. And then he is going to try. So advantage there is 15, and it fails. So she shoves it away from her onto the hole, which drops him into the undercroft, which is 5 feet down. So he remains prone and in the trapdoor. Tally, it's your turn.
oh god, can I get over there? How far away is it from here? 4, 5, 6. Can I move diagonal? Is that a thing?
Yep.
So he's in the trapdoor already?
Yeah, he's already down there.
I look and I'm like, ugh.
You see his eyes widen as the trapdoor shuts over top of him.
It's shut, and I just like, can I just like throw my body on top of it?
Yep.
Until somebody can help me, unless I'm able to chain it up right now.
We'll say you're able to grab the chain and start putting it on, but somebody else is going to have to help you because somebody broke the
Thanks
padlock.
for those bits, Cool Eagle, by the way. Sorry, I was in the middle of telling my action
All
again.
right. Yeah, I'll grab the chain and just like.
All right, Skirp, death saving throw.
Aye. You. Nailed it.
All right. Ismark runs over and does the same as Tally, basically throws himself on top of the trapdoor. Donovich, for his part, bolts into the room up here, grabs something and makes it back to here. At which point he throws a padlock into the room. Doru will attack the door twice, trying to burst it open. And with the two of you there, I say he'd have to hit both of your ACs to make any kind of progress, and he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Gideon, what are you going to do?
Is there even any room on the thing to help in there?
There's still space in there.
Okay.
There's a padlock.
Yeah, Gideon will try to attach the padlock.
All right. You were able to do so with the remainder of your actions. The door continues to just rattle constantly as he tries to break out and just screaming to let him out. How his father betrayed him and how hungry he is.
Awesome.
All right, combat over for now.
All right. Can I wave over the... Okay. Well, never mind. He's fine.
All right.
Or do you need to make 3 saves?
You need to make 3 saves.
Okay, no, I'm gonna wave over Father and be like, can you help me, like, and
He can.
gesture to the Skirp, and can we do like a joint medicine check together or something, or does he have a?
He will cast a spell.
He had spells?
Yep.
Son of a.
Let's see here. He has, what's the cantrip? He'll just cast Cure Wounds. Never mind. He casts Cure Wounds. And Skirp, you come up with, what is it, wrap? D8 plus what?
Oh, for cure wounds.
Yeah.
Cure. It's going to be 1d8 plus the wisdom mod, and another d8 for every spell slot of 2nd or higher.
All right, well, he doesn't have that, so D8 plus Wiz is 2. There you go, Skirp. 8 hit points to you, sir.
Oh yeah.
So Donovich, I want to call him Donovich, just kind of after he heals, Skirp back up, just slumps into the corner, and just like exasperated sighs. That was foolish. And he just starts bawling again about the loss of his son, who continues to scream his ass off. After some time, Donovan kind of collects himself and moves back over to the casket and makes himself busy with preparing it for the funerary rites. But at this point, maybe 5 minutes has passed, so not a lot of time has actually gone through.
Sort. Yeah, I don't know if I have much to say. I'm gonna get back to it.
All right.
Go back over here and continue the ritual.
Everybody else, what are you doing? Skirp, you're not bleeding out anymore, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm reevaluating my life right now.
Gideon's reevaluating a goblin altogether.
That's not unfair, but that was not the damsel that I assumed it would be.
Is the princess in another castle?
We've really got to work on you recognizing.
You've just been
gems.
Bowsered.
Yep. Didn't quite go that way. Other than the screaming, you guys, are going to wait till dawn, so you can try to take a long rest.
Yes,
If you'd like, you could take a series of short rests, but otherwise, you still have some time until the dawn breaks.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a
long
long
rest. Gideon will take first watch, I guess.
All right. In the night, Donovan comes over and actually wakes the party just after midnight and leads you all over to the windows facing north of the chapel. And he points out and keeps his voice low, and he says, "The spirits, they stir." And you see from the myriad of graves out in the cemetery area, these ghostly greenish shapes rise up from the ground and start marching, like forming a line and marching out, pass through the cemetery gates. And for a while they disappear, and Donovan's like, just watch. And eventually you see them start winding up this road in the distance. And eventually you see this massively ghostly procession disappear as it marches towards Castle Ravenloft. And he says, this is the fate that awaits those that attempt to throw down the lord of this land. All of them were brave souls that at one point gave their lives to try to combat the lord of this domain, and it's all any of us can do to survive now. He just kind of he watches for a while and hangs his head in prayer. Otherwise, though, it doesn't disturb your long rest. You can still finish that as normal.
Yay.
The dead go marching on out.
Hurrah!
Anyway.
Hurrah!
So long rest means full HP, half our hit dice back.
Yep. Spell slots are recovered. Anything else like superiority die if they don't come back on a short.
Yeah, they're back on the short. Thank God. Everything fighter seems to be short, which is so nice.
So comes back. At dawn, assuming that Tally doesn't also rise with the dawn, Donovich will rouse all of you from whatever kind of sleep you managed to get that night, and let you know that it is time for the funeral.
Full and rest.
Yeah, Tally's not really much of a morning person.
So I'll be up at E6 here. Actually, I think E6 is hidden from you guys. It's just north of E5 in the proper cemetery area. Now that dawn has come, you guys are able to perform the funerary rites without any further issues. If anybody... You're not wrong, Skipford. If anybody wants to say a few words, you can. The siblings were just kind of stand there quietly, holding their emotions as best they can. And Father Donovich says words to the Morning Lord to watch over this man's soul, that it may stay at rest when so many dead are restless in these lands.
I'll speak briefly just to say that, and as the Morning Lord takes his leave in the evening, may Selune grace this man and protect him from those who would turn his spirit.
Donovich gives you kind of like a knowing nod, like that was well said. Indeed.
What was that?
I don't know what that was. Anyway.
All right.
If nobody else has any words to say.
Short ceremony.
Yeah, short
Right.
ceremony. It is dawn at this point, and the siblings look at each other and just like, we should really get going. This the roads aren't safe here at night.
All right. Well, let's
It's dawn.
I agree.
Yes, but that's why you want to get there before night.
Gotcha.
As we're like preparing, I stop by Skirp and ask him, "Are you feeling well?" That's pretty harrowing after, what you uncovered last night.
I think I'm feeling physically well.
You think you are? You're not. Sorry.
I think I am.
You are in fact better. You have recovered
Okay.
your maximum hit point total.
I haven't noticed any other ill effects, so
Once we are
That's good.
blatantly out of the two siblings' earshot, and I can reiterate my question to Tali, I will do such.
What's your question?
That's in chat.
Yeah. Sorry, it feels weird to kind of talk to nobody.
I
So
was curious how we're stopping this guy from rising that we just put in the ground, that we just watched all these guys get up and go to the castle last night.
well,
Like, didn't we just
Rap.
give this guy another
Make a religion check.
another soldier?
make my religion check.
As Donovich, why do I keep calling Donovan? His name is Donovan now, guys, okay?
All right.
He mentioned that all of these spirits died fighting Strahd at his castle, whereas you interred the Burgomeister in what is presumably holy ground here at the church.
And I'll also mention that the funeral rite that I performed last night should protect him and his spirit for a little while, even if there were something to come and try to be profane.
Holy
All
reasons.
of these are
so holy reasons.
holiest reasons.
Holy. White.
I will look at Gideon and see if he understands, because
Gideon clearly doesn't get it.
alright, we're in the same boat, we just move on then, right?
Skirp starts poking around the some of the crypts and stuff that are sitting here, and he eventually finds what is a tool shed. Looks like for the gravekeeper. Should such a brave soul stick to these parts? He enters it and emerges with a grin on his face.
Uh-oh.
On the outhouse. Yeah.
All right. At this point, Arena and Ismark are both okay, we really need to get going here.
Let's do it.
And so they do their best to lead you out of town. I don't know if this. Let me check if this map has.
In honor of the zombies from last night, I have started the zombie apocalypse in chat for anybody.
All right. They lead you to the edge of the village. And map. This is probably going to be huge, but I'm going to ping you guys over to where. You guys are over here.
I didn't get pulled like I should have been, I think.
All right.
I did not either.
All right, let me try this one then. How's that?
There we go.
Ah!
All right. So this little set over here is the village of Barovia. You guys will first be heading kind of southwesternly along the road, which I don't know if you guys can actually see, but you can see the general outline of the road as it heads southwest across the bridge.
What's going on, RJ?
I did
Zombie
some
apocalypse
research.
going on right now, RJ. If you want to
and
join,
somebody has asked this
!point group
exact
or
question,
solo.
and Sage Advice answered it. Since it says attack action, but it's just using your attack action, it's not an attack; it's an ability check, so it would not. Prone does not help. But a barbarian rage would get advantage because it's an ability check. Using strength.
Advantage on strength checks.
Okay. So your initial gut was perfect.
All right. Future note. All right. Jolly cooperation. You guys are onward.
Oh.
Onward and outward. Inward. I don't know where we're going.
Let me see if I can find you guys. We'll use this token because it's funny. Oh wait, am I in the map layer? No. Oh, so that'll probably be huge when it comes out, but still. If it ever wants to load. There we go.
RJ. Nice.
We'll just use the Strahd token as to note where the party is.
Spoopy.
So you You guys are on the road. Guess what that means?
Montage?
A montage? No, that means the DM gets to roll dice.
Shit.
Oh, wait, are you using a token of... I don't know who that is, but I'm assuming it's a vampire? Just from the red and the black?
That's
Something like
Strahd's.
that is
Is it
actually
Strahd?
Strahd. I don't know if I can actually do this, but let's find out. Interesting. All right.
I don't like
As the
Strahd.
party gets along, they make it to about here. And it looks like the road splits. One way off from the forest, one way continuing along what you believe to be the main road.
Do our NPC companions know which way we're supposed to go?
They're like, I think we go that way. And they're kind of conferring amongst themselves, but some of their survival check, potentially.
Do I have
Help
any
them
gut
out.
feelings about which direction?
You could roll, let's call it gut feeling wisdom.
Not proficient in survival? Let's see. No.
You think the path that would head north. It's clearly, you guys are supposed to be heading northwest. Tally, you're like, no, you're dumb, man. That's not the main road. And you say that you need to continue south or west, at least for a little bit longer. It says going north will just lead us back to the river, clearly.
What he said.
Bless you, Skirp. I was waiting for that.
What it's scripted?
He
Kids coming in and out of the bathrooms.
paused for a moment, introspectively.
Oh, I see.
His eyes glazed over into an unnatural, sort of unliving milkiness. And what direction are these? Does the road fork?
North and west.
I am intensely drawn to the western fork. Like there's something in that direction that needs pursuing.
All right, so you have three votes for west because of the NPCs.
Okay, well, I mean, West sounds good.
All right. West, you shall continue then. You come to what is another crossroads. We'll call it here. It's easier to look there. And passive perceptions, my friends, what are they?
15.
Anyone higher?
Where do I find it?
It's in the blue column on skills.
It's your perception check plus 10.
Yeah.
I have 13.
All right. Tally is actually anyone 13 or higher. It looks like some of the bushes are moving, but they're moving in such a way that like it's not wind, like they're moving parallel to you as you go down the road.
I'll kind of pull up next to Gideon and just sort of lean over and say, there's something moving with us in the bushes. Keep an eye out.
Gideon nods, looking around.
Make a perception check.
What's your human eyes
You're not
see?
really sure what he's looking at. You're like, you thought you saw it move, but since you guys stopped, it looked like whatever it was may have also stopped.
I'll go over. I guess maybe we can continue walking, but I'd like to try the same thing again, but maybe check with Skirp and see
All right.
if the momentum continues with it.
At this crossroads, Ismark kind of stops the group and he's like, "Here, I actually know of this crossroads," and he points to a sign that's nearby. He says, "This place leads to the Vistani camp. It's possible that we might be able to hire on a guide there, or even potentially find some help." And he kind of lowers his voice a little bit and puts his hand up and they say that their leader is a powerful soothsayer, a seer, and perhaps she may have some input on our quest here. That said, I don't know that it's worth the time. And he kind of leaves the decision open to the party.
Oh, what time of day is it?
It's still pretty early in the day.
How far is it from here?
He says it's maybe another 20 minutes, half an hour. Quick cut through the woods.
If we maintain a brisk pace, I don't see any harm in a small detour.
Okay,
For
I
sure.
agree. I like it.
For such a short amount
Maybe
of time,
we can
too.
trade Kilt for a guide.
He kind of looks up from the donkey and just like gives you like the saddest look, and it's like, that's what my parents did. Except it was for a pie. And he goes and hides behind Tally.
Skirp has a bunch of those pies, doesn't he? Didn't he like?
There are 2 pies.
I wouldn't eat those.
They're probably really
4
good
pies.
pies if they're willing to trade.
There are 4 pies? Okay, there
Uh,
are 4 pies. This
I
is why I
don't-
told you to write
4
them down.
pies.
The first one's free.
God, is there like a blessed food and water thing? Fifth edition. We ain't eating those pies. Yeah, I feel like for such a short amount of time loss, and we're still pretty far, and if we're that unsure of the path to get there, it seems like we'd be like real screwed if we got lost without a guide.
Even if it took a while to get there, it's a camp, so we could theoretically rest there for
Yeah.
the night and start tomorrow, and find the right guide. But I definitely say do not trust anything a soothsayer ever says, ever.
Why's that?
Yeah, it's like listening to a tiefling. It's just a bad idea.
Exactly. There are a lot of people on the streets that call themselves soothsayers that are just stealing your money.
All right, Skirp appears to be of the mind that the party should continue to the camp and starts going that way. It's, this
I
is
feel like we should always do the opposite of what Skirp thinks.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
it's not what he
far-
thinks, but it's what he does that gets us in
Yeah.
trouble.
When has it ever been a good idea to follow a goblin? I know I'm a tiefling, but I mean, I've never heard of a good time to follow goblins.
You know,
It's like
you
this-
make a
it's like a weird like kettle calling the pot black sort of thing. Kilt's, actually pretty tight with Skirp for the most part, because the whole saving him from the lady with the cart, so he pulls him along, donkey in tow.
all right. Well, Gideon looks at
Gives
Squirrel
gives
like, "Are you
Squirrel a
following me?"
wicked raspberry as he turns around.
God.
I will say that that's not my donkey.
It is not
He's
your
stealing
donkey.
your donkey.
It's just your ass.
I mage hand slap the kid.
Oh, whoa.
Do you really
Whoa.
cast Mage Hand?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna slap the kid hard with it.
All right.
Oh boy. Oh.
Your previous, you're aware of your powers. before. Like you came into your sorcerer's origins before coming into this land, so you have a fair understanding of what Mage Hand is and is capable of doing. Instead of like the normal like Mage Hand that normally appears next to you, and it's kind of this glowing, translucent, whatever color your Mage Hand is, normally. Instead, from the ground rises this ghastly-looking skeletal hand, like dripping with rotten flesh, and it just floats up next to you and just kind of bobs there until you give it its direction.
Careful. If Squirp sees this, he's going to want to take it along.
I still smack the kid who raspberried me with it, because that's even better in Squirrel's mind, though disgusting and disturbing at the same time.
All right, he does his best to start basically running away from the hand, and the hand and the boy are chasing each other around the donkey and the cart.
God, I feel like I turned into an anime here.
Squirrel's amused as he keeps walking after Scoop.
The game continues until basically your Mage Hand runs out of duration.
Yep, it's a minute.
All right. To the camp with ye.
Yes.
Yar to the camp with ye. All right, how's that look on your guys' screen?
Very
Black.
Black.
Ah, damn it. I don't know. This does not need. There's zero reason for this map to have lighting. There you go.
So there wasn't really. Oh.
There's literally zero reason for this camp to have lighting, unless it's at night, but it's not at night. All right. The road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path cutting through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mists and branches suddenly give way to the black clouds that appear to be boiling far above. Here, you see that there's a clearing next to the river that widens and forms a smaller lake, like a smallish lake-type inlet in the river. You see 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside of a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. Much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, and you see it's kind of like sagging slightly, and an odd light casts from within it. Near the tent, there are 8 unbridled horses that are just kind of milling about the river, drinking and chewing on things as they are. There is strains of accordion and singing voices as you approach the camp. And you see that there are very colorfully dressed people gathered, singing and dancing about the campsite. And Ismart comes up to the group and keeps his voice low, and he says, "These are the Vistani. They are nomads of sort. They're like gypsies."
I was gonna say, I dare to ask, can they be trusted?
He says, as long as you don't offend them in their customs and enjoy food and drink and song, it's relatively safe with these people.
I can enjoy some food.
All right. As you're approaching the camp, you hear there's the Vistana sitting closest to the fire, and he jumps up and kind of starts telling this broad tale, swinging his hand out, and he throws some sawdust into and it roars up. And he says, points out to the rest of the people watching him. He says, "A mighty wizard came to this land over a year ago, I tell you now, and I remember it like it was yesterday. He stood exactly there where you're standing now," and he points at Squirrel as you approach. "A very charismatic man," and he kind of puffs his chest up. He thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the devil Strahd, and he points backwards towards where the castle is, kind of starting to grow more distant as you guys have moved away from the village of Barovia. He says, "He stirred them with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle in mass. and he kind of makes his way through, like mock picking up swords, and he picks up like a stick and like acts like he's sheathing it. Another one he picks up and makes into a torch and kind of starts making a mock marching motion. He says, "When the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled. A few stood their ground, but they were never to be seen again. The wizard and the vampire cast spells at each other, spells of terrible power. Their battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft itself to a precipice overlooking the falls. I was there, I saw the battle with mine own eyes." He kind of points to them, these like stark blue things. "Thunder shook the mountainside, and the great rocks tumbled upon the wizard, yet by his magic he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck the wizard, and again he stood his ground. But then the devil Strahd fell upon him, and the wizard's magic could not save him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death below. I climbed then down to the river, the very river Iblis you see before you now," and he motions to the river behind him. He says, "There I climbed and searched for the wizard's body to see," and he kind of straightens up and laughs, and gives one of the guys next to him like a jab in the ribs. "You know, if there's anything of value left behind. But the river Iblis had already spirited him away." And then he throws another pile of sawdust onto the fire, and it roars up, and everybody starts laughing and clapping, and the music starts back over again.
And his name was?
If you actually ask him that, like approach him and ask him, he says,
Yeah, sure.
"You know, I don't know that he ever had a name. I just know that he had aspirations to overthrow the vampire lord of these lands." He says, "But you are not Vistana. You are not from these parts. This I know." And he starts laughing. And one of the guys from behind him was like, "Well, how'd you figure that out?" And he pulls his colorful bandana. He says, "They're not wearing the proper outfit." And everybody starts laughing again. At this point, Skirp has kind of found a seat in the storyteller, and one of the Vistana look at him oddly and just kind of quietly and carefully pass him a bottle of something and then back away slowly. And he says, "You are new here, though. You've come seeking Madame Ava, then?"
That's
For
true.
her. Ah,
We are
you wish.
we are travelers from far away, and we've heard great tale of you and your people, and believe we can possibly arrange for some guidance.
Ah, you seek wisdom, then. You have come to the right place. You have come to the right place indeed. And he says, "The tent there," and he points back to the larger tent near the back of the camp by the water. He says, "Madame Ava waits for you within."
Oh, thank you, sir. And your name?
He says, I am not important. It is what lies before you that is important. And she is Madame Eva."
Well, I appreciate your kindness to these
He says,
to us,
"Absolutely."
these weary travelers.
And he takes another long bow, and then continues kind of going back to the fire and dancing around and giving everybody, passing out booze and whatnot.
I'm in that. Right, like I'm already super drawn to storytellers.
Skirp, you are
Just turn into Rick, like Rick and Morty.
further drawn to the tent.
But I want to be drawn to the storyteller.
He's also cool, but you feel some other compulsion.
Okay.
And at this point, we have to wait for Gideon to come back.
Do we want to take like 5 minutes or something? I could use a leg stretch.
Sure, we can take a quick bio break.
Sounds good.
Good spot to do it, actually.
About 9:20 we return / whatever hour you're in, 20th minute in that hour.
Sure.
Cool.
All right, shall we return?
All right, chat. We're taking a quick break.
Sounds good.
Gotta pee. Gotta stand up. Gotta do that thing. Be right back.
I'm back. I'm really sorry about that. Am I the only one here?
I'm back.
So am I. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. It was a good time for. Let me see here.
I'm back.
Hello.
Hello.
Two episodes to seal everything up.
Who's ready for
I
stuff?
knew I read something.
I am.
I want
Oh my
whatchamajigs, not stuff.
Yeah, give me things. Real things.
Like, I'm level 3 and I've gotten, like, no loot. Ugh, totally not cool. Oh, wait,
Oh,
no.
God.
That's a lie. We did get loot. Totally forgot. I'm just joking anyway. We got, like, cloaks and stuff. I forgot.
I didn't get anything. Actually,
Got
I
rock.
picked up a bunch of different kinds of crossbows.
It's true.
They're gonna come in handy as soon as I can get a feat. Which is like next level, right?
I think it varies, but I think for you it's 4th.
Yeah. I'm gonna get crossbow expert.
Ah, nice. Do I gonna get thaumaturgy? Oh, okay, that's a...
Do.
If Skirp started using the invisible hand as a improvised weapon, would he get advantage because the enemy couldn't see it coming?
I might say yes. The only problem is that as an improvised weapon, it would only do D4, and I don't believe he's proficient in unarmed attacks either, which it would count as.
I would call that an armed attack.
But
And if he rolls a critical fail, it turns on him and tries to choke him to death.
Who says it's not going to just do that normally?
Many people think
Well,
take
I mean-
advantage on anything with the invisible hand of the free market, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Jesus.
All right, so you have been pointed to the tent of Madame Eva. Will you do so? You listen to her wisdom.
Begrudgingly.
Perfect.
We'll listen to it. I don't know if we'll actually take it into account.
All right. As you approach the tent, it appears that some sort of magic flame is casting a reddish glow, and it flows outward from it. As you approach, you see the inside, a low table covered in a black velvet cloth, and glints of light flash from a crystal ball that is set on the table, and a hunched figure who sits behind it peers into its depths. As you enter the tent, she begins to speak, and it sounds crackly, kind of like stepping on leaves in autumn. And she's just like, "At last, you have arrived." And goes on laughing for a little bit longer than is comfortable.
Just smile.
And she basically makes a motion with her hand and bids you all to sit.
I do so.
As you do so, or any that wish to do so, she pulls out a deck of cards, and for the time sets it to the side. What?
Take 5.
Not yet.
This is going where I think this is going.
And she looks at each of you, and Tally, she says, You are a holy woman. You find yourself in this land full of unholy things. Will you become one of those unholy things? Or will you survive? And as she finishes the word survive, she looks at Skirp. She says, Survival has many different forms. And just grins widely. Does it not, Squirrel? At which point she looks directly at Squirrel. Surviving on the streets as you and your friend Gideon have for all your lives. Interesting that two such of you might find this place and come to my tent. Interesting indeed. You don't trust my words, nor will you trust my visions, do you, Master Squirrel? She just kind of gives you a look like she's peering into you. She says, Matters not what you believe, for your belief is not required. She says, Your fortunes, shall I read them for you?
I'm back in it now. Like, I'm interested. I would very much like my fortune read.
Skirp is all in. If it pleases you, but what we've come for, we do have something specific in mind in terms of guidance that we could use your help with.
And she says, and that is?
We make for the town of
Balaki,
and wish to make there by nightfall, if possible. And we know of you. We've heard story of your abilities and we're wondering if you'd be able to help us guide our way through the upcoming trials to get there.
She says, it is possible. And it is possible that your fortunes may even assist in finding your way there. Though I suspect one of you will find a distraction along the way. I would warn you against this. Then she looks at Squirrel, if I thought he would listen.
That's supposed to be shrugs, but typing's hard.
Shurg.
You could always just say it.
She says, as I'm sure you may have begun to suspect, your fortunes are all tied together now. You were not all of one mind before you came to this place, yet it seems you are now inexplicably bound together to this task before you. And she looks at Arena and just kind of gives her kind of this sad, kind of almost longing look. Just goes, nod, like kind of shakes her head. She says, your cards then. Let me see how this works. 1, 2, 3. We will do. Let me see. Squirrel, you're actually the one that's broadcasting, right? So we're going to do these to your screen since you'll be able to see them. And the party should be able to see them as well on their screens. We'll see how it goes.
I see 3.
I don't see any, but
You see 3?
I see a 3
Oh, I
over Squirrel's name.
yeah, that's what I see as well.
And then Dex on the right side of the screen.
Yep, that's exactly what you should be seeing.
Okay.
Also horses.
Very big horses.
All right. She pulls the first of the cards. Zeb, I believe you should be able to click on them and see them and like blow them up if you just click on the individual one. So if you like click on the 3, it should open like a window. Yes.
Yes, sorry, I'm going through them right now. I got the mercenary for the far left.
All right. Hold there.
Okay.
Hold there. All right. We're gonna this has to be done in order because this is important. The first, she flips over and she tells you that this card tells of history and knowledge of the ancient will help you to better understand your enemy. And then she begins to read you the description of the mercenary. And she says, the thing you seek lies with the dead, under mountains of golden coin. And she sets the card aside. I assume Skirp stole that.
I didn't mean to, it just clicked it.
That's okay, you guys can pass them around.
I waited until you said she set it aside, and then I let it go.
There you go. She draws the second card. She says,
Oh, grabby.
this card tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. And she reveals the rogue, which is the 6 of coins, yes? No, the rogue is what?
Just coin symbols.
The master of coins.
Master of coins,
Interesting. And she kind of strokes her chin. She goes, I see a nest of ravens before you. There in the nest, you shall find the prize. And then she clicks the third card. This is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of the purest sunlight. And she reveals the 6 of stars, which is the evoker. I see a crypt of a wizard ordinaire. His staff is the key. And I'll be writing and giving you guys all this information, so you don't have to worry about remembering it too much. And then she draws 2 more cards. And she begins to reveal. The 4th. This card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in your battle against the darkness. She says that this is the artifact. And the artifact is whom? Oh God, please don't be what I think it is. Okay. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. It says, look for an entertaining man. He has a monkey in his company. This man is much more than he seems. And then she grabs the final card. Your enemy is a creature of utter darkness, whose powers are beyond that of mortality. This card would lead you to him. And she flips for you the marionette. Look to great heights. Find the beating heart of the castle. There he shall wait nearby.
I just nod silently out of, showing of respect, so that way I don't put foot in mouth, since that was what we were told not to do. Thanks for the
Takes a
host,
moment. She takes a moment to look at each of you in the eyes. Then sits up very abruptly and says, well, go on. You have your reading. Go. And kind of starts shooing you all out of her tent.
But the path to that village place. Write this down.
Sorry, what was that?
Where are we trying to get to again?
You're trying to get to Valaki.
Valaki.
She said don't get distracted on the way to Wallaki, right?
She warned that Squirrel might.
No. She said one of your companions will, while then insinuating that I would, or implying. She never actually said that I would. And then when it comes to tarot cards, she wouldn't actually say that it was me. She would just heavily imply, so everybody was suspicious.
That part
of
didn't
me.
come from the tarot cards, though. That was before the tarot.
Yeah, but gypsies are all the same. They're all, try to wave suspicion.
Wow, racist.
Wow, yeah, right, guys?
Man,
This
paint them all with the same brush. Jeez.
paint with all the colors
One
of the
big
wind.
wide stroke.
Yeah,
A roller.
like people, you can't trust any of them.
Apparently not.
I guess. So she's shooing us out.
Yep, she's shooing you out, and she is not very susceptible to further questions, should you try.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. So we've got Mercenary. We've got the Rogue and the Evoker. And then we have the Artifact and the Marionette. Perfect. All right. I shall make a handout of these and give them to you all in time.
Thank you.
All right. As you've been, shooed out of her tent, you guys are back in kind of this, happy singing gypsy camp with an odd kind of fortune done and before you. What now will you seek?
So does anybody feel like we know the way to the lackey?
I think we still need a guide.
Mm-hmm.
We likely follow the ravens.
I thought we knew the way to Velaki. It's just that we decided to come here for.
Yes, you guys are.
Guidance.
You have an idea of where Valaki is. In addition to that, you thought maybe we can find a guide here. Found information, if nothing else.
Can I find the gentleman that greeted us earlier?
Yeah, he's still around the campfire.
I'll go ask him if he or any of the friends in the camp would be willing to give us, if they knew the way to Valaki, and or were willing to guide us there.
He says, most certainly we know the way, though. And he kind of puts one foot up on like a stump and rests his elbow on his knee and kind of makes like a money motion with like his 2 fingers and a thumb.
But do you have any traders heading there soon, looking to do business?
And he looks around the camp and smiles very broadly, and everybody starts laughing. Traders on these roads? Surely. He says he should be the one telling the stories. And everybody starts laughing.
I do have, performance and persuasion, so totally could tell a story and make it funny.
Well, if you want to, you can roll it. And tell your story. We'll see how well your delivery is.
Can I assist him?
Do you have performance?
I have persuasion.
That would help.
You have guidance.
I do actually. You know what? Yeah. Thank you, sir. Let's just do that instead. You get free D4 to add to whatever you do. But choose one of them, I guess.
What's the difference between the 2 rolls?
Well, if I get a free D4, I can add it to persuasion, but it's currently 18. It's 21, so 3.
How come you rolled it twice? I'm confused. Did you get advantage or something?
No, what you said roll persuasion and performance. You said both. You didn't say
Oh, I can't read. Never mind. Those are 2 different words.
Throw a D4 in there somewhere, I guess.
Depending on which one you want to add it to.
I have guidance as an action, and it's a cantrip. So
this
I
is
guess
gonna go to persuasion since the cat is purring in my ear.
Sorry, she is just trying to help.
So 21 on each.
Come on. All right. So that's not only what kind of story you're going to tell them. Put that way.
Well, since I asked about traders, it'd be some merchant story about traders on dangerous roads and how so wise to trade even when there's dangerous roads ahead, because trade needs to be done.
We'll work on that. Anyways, your rolls are enough to kind of get them all going and laughing, and they're like, "We'll tell you what. For," he looks around and says, 25 gold pieces. We'll send a couple guys with you, show you the way. Says, if you're with us, I don't think anything will harm you guys. We know the ways around where most people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check my sack of gold.
Or do we have anything we could trade them for roughly that value that we picked up that we don't need?
There's a few things in your guys' inventory that probably works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will offer them trade instead, because as I said, we are traders. And kilt will be the first thing I offer, out of just to see what Skirps and the Tally respond, but I'm sure we have other things, because, traveling merchant's my thing.
He Kilt just starts looking, and his eyes widen, and he's like, "What?"
We have a bunch of empty journals. You said they were worth 25 gold each.
Yes. One of those would
Those?
suffice with Zeb's rolls.
You okay with that, Zeb?
It's one of the blank ones, correct?
Yeah, empty journal.
Yeah, I will offer them an empty journal, and I'm sure that their soothsayer would appreciate it.
Okay, I'm marking that down on the loot list.
Okay. All right. They are. You do that, and he looks at the sky and says, And he kind of strokes his chin a bit. He says, "We could, if we made good time, we might yet make Velaki today. Though it's, I'd rather not stay out past darkness. Even the Vistani are not so brave as to do that." He says, "If you are ready to cut immediately, I think we might make time." And he goes over and starts saddling a horse, and then he looks back over and he gets a twinkle in his eye. He says, Another 25 gold pieces, and I'll rent you all horses for the trip. We'll make it even faster."
My donkey can keep up just fine, thank you.
Can we all fit on the donkey?
We have a cart too.
Yeah,
I can.
in the cart.
I mean, we're gonna have to move at the speed of the cart no matter what. So
Yeah, but donkey is, if you move the donkey faster, it'll go.
Put the donkey in the cart with us. And have the horse carry.
I like it.
Put a donkey on top of the horse. And put that horse on another horse. A little pyramid going.
I don't think that works the way you think it works.
Does it not?
Only one way to find out, though, right?
Only one way to find out.
Either
I'll
way, I'm
defer
not
to-
sure a night's travel, or like one night's worth of time, is worth another 25 gold when we could just rest here if he was that worried about time. But he's already said we can make it without the horses, so why would we pay him?
I defer to the haggler on this one.
Very
Isn't it
well.
nice when people defer to you, Zeb?
I'm just, this is my proposing to you guys. This is, I would rather stay here than pay him 25 gold for horses and leave in the morning if there was a concern. But he had already implied that we could make it without the horses, so unless you guys really want horses for whatever reason.
I mean, who doesn't want horses? But I don't have 25 gold, so.
You could sell them your top hat.
I don't think that's. I'm not sure that's on the table.
No, it's on my helmet.
So probably under the table, considering how short he is.
Are you tinkering with settings, Pef, out of curiosity?
I don't think so. Why?
Because
They
Skirp
roll
is
20s.
going back and forth from like his icon to his webcam to both hybriding it up, and you're just white, so I was curious if you were tinkering with settings.
I think Roll20's having a giggle.
Or Roll20 might be having a giggle. I can try refreshing mine and fixes
No,
it.
I was just curious. It's not a big deal. It's not doing anything to stream. It was just morbidly amusing to me more than anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of neat to see Skirp, and then you can see like the window in the background, just because you know it's a window. But otherwise, it's a neat effect for his icon.
Oh, all I see is a black box on his.
They are having a little. Does seem like they're having a little bit of weirdness in their real-time syncing. So I wonder if that's related.
It might be.
But
Anyway, the
anyways.
choice of the horse not required.
Yeah, I agree. If the good man if the reputation of the Vistani, is that right? God,
Yes.
I'm horrible with names. I mean, the reputation of Vistani precedes you. I imagine you sound like a more than competent enough guy to get us there, like you said today, without the horses. So, if you don't think they're a necessity, I think we're good to make it without. But thank you, friend.
Says, very well then. And he finishes kind of getting his horse ready to go and moves you guys along. There's a small path coming north out of the camp where the Strahd token is that kind of leads along the river in between the trees and the river. And he leads you along that until it catches up with the bridge. The bridge is very bridge-like and full of bridge. These are falls, and you follow the river to the base of a canyon, the far end of which is a great waterfall that spills into a pool, blowing forth clouds of cold mist, which is, cold mist is nothing new to you guys. A great stone bridge spans the canyon nearly 1,000 feet overhead. And he leads you guys up a path that winds around and eventually brings you back up to the main road. At which point you cross the great bridge that you saw above you. It says you see that there are gargoyles on this, with black moss kind of covering the corners of them. And far below you see the pool and the waterfall. Very, very far, which suggests not falling, if at all possible.
Noted.
Anything else down there?
Nope. Just a lot of waterfall.
All right. Well, I think. No, I'm walking. I'm on foot. I'm a fit goblin. I don't need to ride in a cart.
All right.
Yeah. Just move across the bridge. Continue along.
The dice.
That was exciting when there are dice rolls in response to the phrase "I walk."
Mm-hmm. There appears to be some kind of bundle as you reach the opposite side of the bridge. It's kind of nudged up, leaning against one of the supports of it.
Is it moving?
It is not.
How large is it?
Roll a d100. Since you're the one asking.
Oh.
All right. Oh, this is perfect. Not very big. Maybe the size of a small mail parcel.
Well, normally I would approach it with gusto, but I've been bitten several times. So I'm going to approach it cautiously.
All right. How are you doing so?
By asking Kilt to go get it for me.
He looks at you. Okay.
Thank it. I
Walks
saved you.
over. He walks over and picks it up, and nothing happens. So he just kind of shrugs his shoulders and hands it to you.
Excellent. Excellent. I unwrap it with gusto.
All right. There is an envelope.
Ow!
The front of which is marked with a symbol that
Okay.
only you recognize.
Oh, good.
It is among the goblins, especially those of your family, like the there's always been kind of a weird thing with writing, and so there's often the need to maybe identify one another. So they're more like symbols or
Sure.
the like, rather than actual writing.
Pictograms.
Yes. This one depicts your father.
Oh. Okay.
Thanks, Kurt.
The letter itself is sealed.
Oh. I am so torn now. Mm-mm. Okay. Okay. I guess this could be okay. I'm gonna open it and see what's going on in there.
All right. There's a crudely drawn, it looks like a kid drawing in crayon, like with stick figure very badly.
That's handwriting.
They're green, drawn in green, depicting a goblin that you recognize with kind of the family look about them. They have the nose and the ears stand out especially. And except he doesn't look well. It has the artist is giving the impression that the goblin depicted here is sick and possibly soon to pass from the world as a result of it. And it's showing this like slow kind of like caveman drawing progression of this goblin in various stages of illness until eventually the drawing hand changes. And it's just a picture of like a goblin with his eyes X'd out.
X'd out.
Laying
You
on-
missed that
yeah,
section.
I'm working on it.
Is this Pikachu?
laying on the ground. Along the way in this caveman pictograph, it gives the impression of a message being conveyed. The message is something about a book, but like a very specific book that has this large black cover on it, and is marked with an S and a Z, and the artist is conveying the fact that this thing is evil. Like it's got, like at one point in the pictograph, it grows teeth and these glowing red eyes, and looks like it's laughing as it hovers over your father.
God. My God. All right.
D&D comics, guys. D&D
Okay.
comics.
Let's see. So that
Sounds like that was found in Control Alt Delete.
some sort of book.
I don't have any camera stuff turned on tonight, and I feel like I'm missing something important as a result.
Book.
Oh my god.
The party can
drawing it
continue
the
on
map.
while he's.
I'm enjoying this.
Is he?
Stream
Where the heck is
appreciates
it?
him drawing
you
on
don't
the
see
map. This is pretty epic.
Where on the map is it? Let's see
Dude,
it.
okay,
Wait.
load up the stream. You can't miss it, trust me.
Wait, do you not see it?
No, it's not showing on my screen.
What map are you seeing?
Oh.
Come back to
I'm on
the
oh,
camp.
I'm on the wrong map. That's why.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, it's actually a really good representation.
All right.
All right, now I'll take you guys back out to here.
You lost your drawing forever, buddy.
No.
No, I didn't. It's still there. Let me see. You guys are token here. And so you guys have just been moving along. Eventually, you come to a crossroads. Here. Even here, as the elevation has increased during your hike, the forest and the fog are inescapable. Ahead, the dirt road splits into two, widening towards the east. You can see that there are patches of cobblestone, suggesting that the eastern branch was perhaps once part of a more important thoroughfare.
So is it back to figuring out which way to go again?
It is not, because there are clearly gates here. Huge iron gates hang from stonework built into the ground. Dew clings with a extremely dense cold. You can feel kind of radiating from them. There are two headless statues of armed guardians flanking the gate. Their heads are broken off and hanging, or not hanging, but lying into the vegetation at their feet.
How large are these statues?
Large, probably 30, 35 feet tall.
Gargantuan.
So guide, which do we need to go back by the spoopy looking statues?
He just kind of starts laughing slightly. He says, "Perhaps it is a good thing you hired me as a guide." And he just keeps walking, and the gates swing open of their own with this kind of mournful creaking.
I follow right behind him.
I feel like 25 gold could have bought us a guide who didn't drop cryptic, mocking comments.
I think that's the premium
That's a gypsy
for
thing.
40 gold.
It's like a 40 gold package.
It's like you can get access to Hulu or you get the ad-free version. You can get a guide, but to get the
snark
the
free
mocking,
version.
yeah.
The snark free guide.
I hear when you have a snark, you just cut its head off and it stops.
Is that how that works?
It works in Game of Thrones.
Snarks and, what was it, gremlins or something like that? I forget what they called them. Heffalumps and woozles. Also the trippiest ride at Disneyland.
Very confusals. There's a ride based on those?
Yeah. It's like someone's acid
Oh,
trip.
at Disneyland. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I've not been there.
That makes one of us.
All right. You come to another split in the road. The Vistana is clearly going to continue along the northern road. The old Slavich road transitions here from being a winding path through the Balanik Mountains, the names of which the guide tells you as you've been moving along, to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainside as it descends into a fog-filled valley. At this point, you can see that in the heart of the valley, there is a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake. Its waters dark and still. A branch of the road leads west to a promontory, atop which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill. Its warped wooden vanes stripped bare. And that is, the windmill is here, and you can see a town here.
Where was the second one? Sorry.
Whoop. Might have to zoom out a little bit
Yep,
more.
there you go.
He continues north as you guys are kind of like, we won't go that way. That's what they call the bone grinder.
Oh god.
That's the lighthouse I own.
It's
a windmill.
It's a windmill.
That's the windmill I own. I'm gonna turn it
You
into
have
a
deed.
lighthouse.
You don't own it. You have a deed. There's
Oh
a
no, I
difference.
have a deed in my name that says I own it.
I don't think it's in
Possession
your
is
name.
9/10 of the law, and you don't possess it.
I kind of, he raises an eyebrow and looks back at you and says, "Indeed, you own the bone grinder."
I have a deed that says I do.
I don't think the deed does, right? The deed has a name on it?
Yeah,
he
mine.
he used a he has
Forgery.
a kit to forgery.
Oh, you spent time to forge it?
I don't know if he did. He said he was going.
It's something I work on in my downtime. It's not done yet, but I can still claim it. Why you
you
guys
like
gotta
flash it real
rep?
quick and like put it away so he
No,
doesn't
I don't
see the
gotta
details.
unroll it. I'm not gonna show a gypsy a deed. What's he care?
He says, "Yes, you own the bone grinder as much as I own the river Iblis." And he starts laughing and just shakes his head and keeps riding slowly away.
I ask him, do I want to know how it got its name?
He says there
Probably some dude named
rumors
Iblis.
here and there of a strange group of women that keep to the place. He says the Vastana have no business there, and so we stay away.
Sounds wise.
The Vastani, plural Vastana. Sorry. Blah blah blah. Onward still.
Yeah.
Onward.
Just checking. All right. Guess what time it is?
Tool
Nine-ish.
time.
Time for the night. Another dice roll. What does this dice roll tell us? It tells us of history, of things yet to come. It tells us of more Vastani coming down the road. They meet your guide, who's riding slightly ahead of you, and he's speaking with them in some kind of language. It's not common. You know that for sure.
It's a goblin.
No, it is not Goblin. He continues conversing with them, and a couple of the other Vistani start laughing. And he gives one guy kind of a pat on the back as they ride by, and he waves to you guys. Keep going forward.
Is this the one that was storytelling when we first got to their camp?
It is.
Okay. While we're riding, I would like to try and entice him to tell me stories of great paladins that he knows.
Great paladins, and he's a paladin. That's some sort of order. Then
Great warriors of faith.
he starts laughing. He says, "There were one such in these lands long ago." He says, "The soldiers of Argynvost Holt." He says, "Long ago they fell. They fell in their holy war to stop the devil Strahd. Further proof that even those of holy might cannot stand against the lords of this land."
Okay. Little disconcerting, but
Says all of their number fell, including their leader, Argynvost himself. They say he, at one time, had commanded the power of a dragon, and so they called him the Dragon Knight. It is said that they had a citadel on these lands once, but that, like Argynvost himself, has been lost to the annals of history.
what else do they say about the Citadel?
That it is a place of light and battle. But the soldiers of Argynvost Holt fell back to that place until they were fought to the last man.
Tell me more about the Dragon Knight. Like, that sounds exciting.
Ah, the Dragon Knight Argynvost. I say he was a mighty fighter who commanded a sword whose name was known only to him. That had he met Strahd in single combat, that the blade would be the one to strike down the devil. But it is said that the chance never came, that Strahd cut a cutting plan instead, and through betrayal and trickery caused the downfall of Argynvost Holt.
Hmm. I'm really
Does
starting
the
to
sword
not
still
like this guy.
exist?
And he says, "Who's to say? If the stories of the Dragon Knight are true, it's possible that any survivors brought the sword back to Argynvost itself, or it's possible that in his demise, and Strahd captured the blade and took it back to his own armories. The tales we tell do not include that information, unfortunately." As he's riding along, he's just barely paying attention. All of a sudden, he reins up his horse really hard, rears up and pulls it to the side. And he says, "Would you look at that?" And he gets off his horse and grabs a stick from the woods nearby and pokes into the dirt, and this bear trap snaps up, breaks the branch in half.
Ooh.
And he
Did I just hear a goat in the background?
No, that's just Boo's very bad at being a cat. She's raised by barn swallows.
African or European?
Eastern Washington, actually.
Ah.
What's
Anyway.
their unlaid?
I don't know how much. Boo, how much do you weigh? 7 pounds, somewhere in there. All right. He says, "Nasty trap that. Glad I saw it in time." And he's kind of looks around, takes the remainder of the stick and pokes around the ground a little bit further, and seeming pleased that there isn't anything further here. He's like, I think we can move on. He remounts and continues towards the gates of Vallaki.
Is that just on the road?
Yeah, that's just like in the middle of the road.
The most impressive part about that is that we actually had a trap that Skirp didn't stumble into, and I didn't lead again.
I tried.
Oh, that's totally true. And he kind of musing about Argynvost, and he says, "Why does," and he like considers you, "one such as yourself ask about such warriors?"
Because, I want to be one.
He just starts cracking up laughing, like the most like boisterous, hilarious laugh in the world. He's like, "You're a little shorter than what I imagine the stories of Argynvost soldiers meant to give the image of." And then he kind of stops his, "No offense, of course."
You know what? You can say that when you're telling the story of how Skirp the Great defeated the dread vampire and freed your land.
And this Skirp the Great, how exactly he fell the devil Strahd. Not even the mighty Dragon Knight Argynvost could stand against his might.
Yeah, but he wasn't really a goblin.
And he again kind of
you
gives.
Can't blame him.
He gives kind of like the raised eyebrow. He says, "Indeed, he was not by the tales." And he finishes out and says, "Behold, Vallaki is before you." He tries to present, except that layers aren't working. There we go. Sweet text. Presents the town of Vallaki to you with a sweeping motion of his hand.
We made it.
Got there.
The dirt road ends at a set of sturdy iron gates with a pair of shadowy figures standing behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the road outside the gates are half a dozen pikes with wolf heads impaled upon them.
I think we just missed a wedding. All right. That's exciting. Shall we go in?
Seems so. That's why we came here, right?
Or is this the distraction that we are supposed to avoid?
To Vallaki? Or Sorry, are the gates not going towards Vallaki? Are they to the side or something? Or
No, they are definitely into the town proper.
I feel like Vallaki was our objective, right?
It was.
Is it our end game objective though? I hate soothsayers.
Well-
Let's just go forward.
It's your objective so far as Arena and Ismar are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
This is just Squirrel. He'll be fixated on the stupid soothsayers crap forever because that's chaos and that's what he likes.
Chaos.
I'm kind of bitter about not getting my fortune told. So
That
Oh,
fortune was
what's
the
the-
group. That was not Squirrel's
Yeah,
fortune.
I didn't catch that until the end.
yeah, but like, it wasn't.
The only
my-
reason I did the squirrel so for the stream could see the cards
Yeah. Until Skirp stole it.
until Skirp stole it. He stole his fortune. More than you know. More than you know.
Oh,
Dun dun dun.
But
right. So I expect we're following our NPCs into the town.
The Vistana says, "We're here at last, though. By the look of it, the town is shut, though I'm not exactly sure why." And he looks to the sky. He says, We should probably attempt to get into the town somehow. I wouldn't like to be outside much longer."
Okay, did you say the gates were barred? Were they?
They are currently barred.
is
and
there a
shut.
lever on the other side anywhere?
Do you have X-ray vision?
Well, if they're bars, I can see through them.
There's kind of like this large, like iron bar piece set up, but it doesn't actually look. It looks like a supporting piece of the gate itself, not actually like it's holding it shut.
Did anybody try knocking it?
I
Don't think
No.
so.
hello.
He looks down and says, "Yes, can we help you?"
This is
Like to
where
make it
you guys
inside
talk.
before it gets dark, if at all possible.
My helmet visor is down.
Okay.
A heads up on that one.
And he says, "So would all the vampires that come down the way of the castle." Says, "Get out of here. Go back to your demon lord."
And you have some way of testing non-vampires? Because I assure you, I am not a vampire. Look at me. I may come from the abyss, but I am not a vampire. I'm above that.
He looks
That
at
might
you
be.
and he says, "Horns and a tail, you are of the devil."
But you said
You
you don't let
clearly know-
vampires in. I am not a vampire.
You are of the devil Strahd, then. You don't deny it.
I've never met Strahd, and I am of no devil themselves.
I cast light on my shield to basically outline the symbol of
Thank you.
Selune and say, "These travelers are with me, and I come as a representative of the Moon Guard. There's no one here who will harm you or this village.
They
We are not
peer
allies
you,
of Strahd."
peer you in the Moon Guard. So you guard those that go at night. So you are of the devil Strahd, then.
I sigh. I'm like, oh. No, we
There are
protect
no
those
Moon
who
Guard in
travel
these
at night.
parts. What are you speaking of? There's one.
Do you have time to
One
hear about my
lord.
Lord and Savior Selune?
He looks the other guard and he says, "It's not Strahd."
No, her name is Selune. You know,
Hmm.
goddess of night and moon.
He
The
looks
light
at the other
at
guard
night.
and like shrugs and says, "There's the Morning Lord, but there's no Lord of the Moon."
We are not from your
And he
realm.
kind of considers you've been using like female pronouns, Lordess of the Moon.
There is, I assure you of that. For it is what you see here before you. She is what grants me this ability.
The Vistani's just kind of hanging in the back, just kind of taking in the whole scene. He's like, "All right, that's enough then. Just let them in already." And he says, down to the Vistani, he says, "Yeah, and what have you gypsy types? You can come in here and cause more problems again." He kind of like sneers at him.
Hey.
At which point the Vistana like tosses up a small, what looks to be like coin purse. And the two look at each other and says, "We'll open the gates right away."
Damn,
Place
would you
ran
throw
like a
them?
mafia. It's like at home, Gideon. Everything's run by coin.
He just kind of shrugs, says, "Wouldn't worry about it too much." And just kind of gently kicks his horse and starts in through the gate as it opens.
Did that sack on its way up sound like it contained coin?
Yes, it did.
I'll add that to my my paladin's book of tricks. Bribing the guard.
Oh geez, this one's way the hell over here. Alright, hold on a second. I'm gonna have to fix the order of these maps. As to not give you guys too much extra information. Whoop. Alright. Is that map dark?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, good. You guys are coming in from the easternmost side. We attack from the east. Which is there, where the yellow box is.
Okay.
The guards as you pass through and it says, you might look for lodging. It's getting dark out, and well, you know what happens to people after dark in these lands, and they both start laughing and go back to their posts.
And is it not safe inside the walls after dark?
They both look at each other and says, "Are you not from around these parts? It's not safe anywhere after dark."
Then why have walls?
He says, "For the wolves, of course." And they start laughing again. It's like, who is this guy?
Skirp is,
They're great.
you know, I'm confused as to why we had to pay them, right? Because clearly, if we were vampires, we could have just flown over the walls.
Wait,
is what
vampires
they seem to be
fly?
saying.
Don't know if
They
this-
said that the walls don't protect them. So
Anybody that wants to know about vampires, check.
Which check?
Roll what check?
Religion.
I'm not super smart.
but I am religious. Kind of.
I know them all. I know them. They're rainbow colored and they like to drink water.
They're sparkly in the sunlight.
Between the four of you, you are certain that they are deathly allergic to peanut butter.
We got some
We need
butter.
peanuts. Peanuts stat.
Lots of peanuts. Peanuts and oil.
I'm so proud of that die role playing my character for me.
Right?
A guinea pig.
The Vistana at this point just kind of shakes his head. He says, "All right, well, my duty here is done. I've fulfilled my part that you have paid for." He says, "One last piece of advice: Blue Water Inn." And he starts kind of heading into town. He says, "Good place, lots of drink there."
Hang on, come back.
And he's not like you can run after him and catch him. He's not like galloping
will.
away or anything.
I'm gonna run after him and ask him to tell me stories about vampires.
Vampires. He says, "Well, there's the vampire, of course, the devil Strahd," and he kind of he points back to the castle. And as we've discussed in previous sessions, anytime someone mentions that and points back to the castle, there's just mysterious lightning that crashes. And he says, "I do really want to know how he does that." Vampires are, well, they're the denizens of the night. They seek maidens from their beds and make them corpse wives for who knows what sort of rituals. The Vistani themselves stay away from such creatures. Strahd is perhaps the most famous of them, especially in these parts.
Right. What do you know about vampires in general? Like, are they unstoppable killing machines?
He
Godless
says,
killing machine.
yes, godless killing machine. You know
Godless.
the questions that they were asking you out there, and how
I do.
they didn't let us in until we actually paid for passage.
Go on.
There's a trick there.
Yes.
And he looks back and vampires can only enter a place if they're invited in.
When you say a place, you mean like a house, a building, a town?
He kind of waves his hand. He says, I don't know the rules. Not really, not in their full intent, just that certain places they're not allowed into unless you yourself invite them.
See, so when I own, deedly-wise, own that bone grinder, I can kick out every vampire and have a place to stay. You guys need me, I told you this.
I don't think it gives you can't kick a vampire out, you just can prevent them from coming in, I think.
When a deed changes ownership, that then probably resets it, does it not? Why would it
They're
not?
still in. They're still in there, right?
But that's only an imitation of previous owner.
If only we knew anything about vampires.
If only. It's just smudged peanut butter all over the walls and windows. Stay away.
Yeah, lots of peanut butter. Before he gets tired of our questions, I want to ask him if he's aware of any way to prevent or reverse the effects of the curse of vampirism.
And he says, a stake through the heart. Do it, from what I've heard.
Any non-lethal options?
He says, there's not a lot of people that seek to hunt vampires in these parts and live long enough to tell how they accomplish such. And he kind of looks at all of you and says, you'd probably be wise to maybe keep your voices down when you're discussing such things.
Speaking of steaks, where can we get a good meal around here?
And he says, like I said, Blue Water Inn. I'm on my way there now if you'd really like to follow me.
I would.
Sure.
Oh man, I had to. Is there anyone who knows more about vampires in the area? Like a vampire expert?
A vampire expert. And he just says, I've heard that there are monster hunters about, people that actually go out into the woods at night and hunt the werewolves and the vampires and the ghouls and ghosts, but I've never seen one. Likely because they don't exist because they were killed in their foolish quest.
All right. Now I'm gonna go back to Pastrium for stories about paladins.
All right, and he, doesn't really know that many about holy orders, but he does, kind of keep coming back to Argynvost as a, the example that he is aware of.
Even the staples that everyone knows, right? Like about dragon slaying and lich destroying and stuff like that. Like.
And he says, evil creatures, though, liches. I'm told they get stitches. And he says, but I don't know the truth of that.
I'm heard they're just
never fought one myself.
Yeah, they're just trying to do their own thing, live forever. What do you care if they live forever?
Seeking immortality should not be evil.
Exactly.
It's not the what, but the how, I think, in this case.
He kind of, as you guys are all walking along towards the end, he just kind of shrugs and says, who wants to live forever? Not the Vistana. Vistani. He is a Vistana. The Vistani are people. I'll get that down one of these days.
That's all right.
As you guys continue your conversation, you see that the building he reins up in front of and parks his horse at has large 2-story wooden roof, stone foundation, and several ravens have gathered on the roof, and they're kind of just cawing down, looking at you guys, doing the weird bird head tilt thing. And he says, well, this is it. And he motions to the sign that has a picture of a blue waterfall hanging over the main door. He says, the Blue Water Inn. And it says, I'll even give you that one for free, and kind of gives you like a smirk, walks in the building.
All right. Well,
Park
I
the
will
donkey
also
going.
walk to the building.
All right.
Is there a place to stable the donkey nearby or anything like
There
that?
is. There's stables near the side, and if you wanted to just kind of like, there's a hitching post out front if you really needed it.
Yeah, that's what we'll do for now.
As you enter the main portion, which is the tap room, you see that there are damp cloaks hanging from pegs in the entrance portico. And the tavern is packed with tables and chairs with kind of like narrow paths cutting between them. There's a bar stretching along one wall and a balcony that can be reached by wooden stairs along the northernmost wall. Another balcony overhangs the entrance that you guys come in, and all of the windows are fitted with shutters and crossbars. Lanterns are hanging above the bar and resting on tables. So there's kind of just like this dull, yellowy orange light kind of flowing throughout the place. The walls are almost entirely adorned with the heads of wolves mounted on wooden plaques. There's currently a bard making a little bit of a ruckus near the main hearth, and a monkey plays around his shoulders.
Hmm.
I forget, were we supposed to be aware of a man with a monkey?
Yes.
Bad
We
way?
were supposed to find an ally in a man with a monkey.
Oh, right.
That's what she said, right?
I just don't trust monkeys. Or people with monkeys.
It's
It's not the monkey's fault.
probably goblins you shouldn't trust.
No, we've...
Okay, I'll go hang with the monkey.
All right. That is where we're going to stop it for tonight.
Nice. Oh, man. I regret not taking thaumaturgy. Immediately.
You could yell at the monkey.
No. I can yell at the idiots on top of the gate.
Let us in!
And the monkey. Not you, we named the monkey Jack.
Nice. No experience. You get nothing. Good day.
Oh.
It's checkpoint experience, so
Yeah.
nothing. No points to that. As that is it, we will shoot for the 5th of October, if at all possible, because I will be out the following week. It's also extremely possible for a bonus session around Halloween, probably the 28th or the 29th if people are around.
Ooh,
Yeah.
a Halloween session sounds great.
If it's gonna have to be the 28th, unless you want to take over broadcasting, and I can do it from your house.
Oh, that's right, you'll be here, huh?
I would totally. Yeah, I land the 29th and leave the 30th, so I could do it the 28th without a problem for a bonus session possibility. The 5th does work for me as well.
Okay. Maybe we can set up something extra for that day. I don't know. Maybe like me, you, and Greg can go like join up and have like half of us in person, the other half online or something.
Yeah.
So you're saying that we should all fly out to have an in-person session?
There's also
let's
that.
do it. Let's do it.
Anyway, good session. Well done on not getting again.
Yeah. We're not dead yet.
You
All
are
right, chat. It's been
trying.
fun. You heard that October 5th is going to
You
be our
definitely
next
keep
session. We
Monday.
might have a bonus Halloween session. We can always hope on that. I'll keep you guys apprised. You know that, as I always do. I will see if
All
there's
right.
anybody streaming from the Powerless Gaming community. If so, I'm going to send you
You
over
can
there.
tell we had a combat because
I
Scorp almost died.
don't know
It's true.
what they might be playing.
It's
Looks
usually
like we
Scorp or
have
Gideon.
One streamer
One or
currently
both of us
streaming.
nearly dies.
Let
every
me see
single
what they're
time.
streaming, and I will send you
Like,
over
One
there.
of you guys needs to start carrying a shield.
I'm gonna.
Oh, I
do
carry a shield.
Oh, well.
His AC is high. It's just
Um,
you
I
know.
got 20 AC.
This
I
guy is
just
playing
kept getting slammed for like
Paragon?
24, 25 to hit.
So
Pep rolled like
to each their
17 or
own.
18 like 5
Um,
times in a row. So.
I did
Yeah,
roll pretty high
that's weird.
tonight. Just in
let me know
general, so.
what you guys
Crazy.
think. I'm gonna send
That's
you
how it
over
goes, man.
there.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Getting
this
a
is
get
going to be a
slammed, and then it
change.
was
We're going
15
to merge the
damage
Dragon's Den gaming community
turn.
into another
Yeah.
ongoing
Come
gaming
on and
community.
slam.
It's going to be a slow
Well,
process,
and the,
but we're going to do it.
The necrotic
That's where it's
damage
going to
going down
happen.
your
So we'll
hit
see.
point top
We're
end
going to start
was
streaming
brutal.
off of this, unless any
that
of my
would've been
guys are
brutal
actually
if
on.
I
I
had
don't
had a
think
chance
they
to heal.
are. I should check that before
Yeah. But you did not.
Let's check
Just
that.
went
Actually,
down,
let's make
dead.
sure none of my guys are on.
Going down.
Yeah, they're not. We're just gonna
Well,
send you to
sometimes
Notch
that's how it
actually,
rolls.
because I don't know that
It's
other
okay.
guy.
Yeah.
I hate sending people to people I've not checked out before.
Okay, but-
All right, everybody enjoy Notch. I'll talk to you later. The stream will
totally
be on
down
in
with
tomorrow morning, as always. So I'll see you guys
Duly
in a few
noted.
hours.
All right, I have notes made. I will make a
sounds good.
handout with your guys' reading on it and all of the flavor text goes with it, so you guys have note of what you might need to watch out for.
Woo.
Rhapsody, I am adding you on PlayStation.
Oh yeah.